So there I was, first night on the mountain, thinking, what a lovely camping trip, and then a tiger showed up. Not a cute zoo tiger. A horse-sized murder cat. The roar hit the whole mountain like God's alarm clock. Every animal dropped flat, playing dead. Wang Wei and Sun Can jumped up like their butts were on springs. Me? I was already inside the snow hut grabbing my bow, my gun, and strapping an axe to my belt like some discount action hero. Run, I yelled. And bless their hearts, they followed without asking questions. But then Wang Wei got confused because I was running away from the tiger. Aren't we supposed to catch it? He asked. Yeah, buddy, normally yes. But this tiger wasn't waiting to be caught. It was coming to eat us like we were a delivery order. We lit a fire earlier like idiots. Basically rang the dinner bell. Normal animals fear fire. This thing? It used fire like GPS. See, this tiger already tasted human before. Those 100 soldiers who came up the mountain? Tiger snacked on who knows how many of them. Now it knew humans were delicious, and 3 fresh ones just showed up with a campfire saying, "We're here, come get us. Climb." I pointed at the tallest tree I could find. We scrambled up 15 meters through half a meter deep snow, legs burning, lungs screaming. Perfect timing too. 2 more steps, and that striped nightmare would have tackled us like a linebacker. We sat up there breathing like broken engines. Then, silence. The tiger vanished. Wang Wei whispered, "Where'd it go?" I shushed him. Closed my eyes. Focused my ears. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Behind me. I spun around swinging my axe and came face to face with the biggest tiger head I'd ever seen, staring at me like I was a chicken nugget. This sneaky furball climbed the tree from the other side. I swung missed. The tiger dodged like it had read my moves in advance. My brain said one word, done, then whack. Wang Wei smashed his machete right onto the tiger's skull. The absolute legend stood up on the branch, threw away his balance, wrist falling to his death, just to land that hit. The blade that could split a human head in 2 just bounced off. Tiger skulls are built different, apparently. The tiger roared, jumped down. Wang Wei almost followed it. Gravity doesn't care about heroic moments. Sun Can and I grabbed his jacket just in time. Then the roaring started. 3 roars, right below us. So loud we all covered our ears. The tiger sat down there with glowing red eyes, blood dripping from its forehead, looking at us like, I have all night. This thing was over 3.5 meters long. Its paws completely covered my size, 44 footprints. Its mouth could fit a human head like a grape. I finally understood why the bears stayed away from the 3rd peak. Bear versus tiger is supposed to be 50-50? Not against this thing. This was a final boss tiger. It started climbing again. Bombs, I shouted. We all had homemade explosives, beast skin tubes packed with powder. Wang Wei and Sun Can lit theirs and chucked them immediately. Amateurs. I held mine, counting in my head. 1, 2, 3. Then dropped it right onto the climbing murder kitty. 3 explosions went off at once. And that, folks, is how our simple tiger hunt turned into a desperate tree-clinging, bomb-throwing survival horror on night 1. My ears were basically decorations at this point. 3 bombs went off at once, and all I could hear was "ee." Wang Wei looked like someone slapped him with sound itself. Snow, dirt, and gunpowder smell filled our noses, like someone set off fireworks inside a dumpster. We sat in that tree for what felt like forever, waiting for the smoke to clear. Finally looked down and nothing. No tiger. Not even a single hair. Just craters where the ground used to be. Where'd it go? Wang Wei asked, looking around like he lost his car keys. I already knew. My homemade bombs were decent. But let's be real, they weren't military grade. More like angry firecracker grade. We're going down to find it, I said. Sun Can's legs started shaking like a phone on vibrate. You're serious? Dead serious. I climbed down first, grabbed my axe, and followed the blood trail. It wasn't hard. This tiger was leaking like a broken faucet. And there it was. The big yellow idiot, stumbling through the snow, breathing like an asthmatic grandpa. Blood dripping everywhere. When it saw us coming, it actually tried to run away. The same tiger that was hunting us 5 minutes ago was now scared of us. How the turntables. Wang Wei got excited. Throw more bombs. I shook my head. That was a lucky shot. This thing's 40 meters away and still moving. You'd just be donating explosives to the forest. Time for my secret weapon. I pulled out the fire gun from my backpack. Wang Wei and Sun Can had never seen one before. They watched me light the fuse like I was performing dark magic. Bang. Hit. Obviously. 50 steps away, target the size of a horse. I don't miss. The tiger stumbled sideways and collapsed. Wang Wei started celebrating like we won the lottery. Then this maniac of a tiger stood back up. Half its skull was showing. One eye completely gone from the bombs. The other eye so blood-red you couldn't even see the eyeball. An arrow sticking out of its neck. And it turned around to face us. Not running anymore. This cat chose violence. It climbed onto a boulder, struggling, barely able to pull itself up, and roared at us. Full defiance. Then it jumped down and charged straight at me. Limping, wheezing, bleeding from everywhere. But absolutely zero fear in those ruined eyes. Wang Wei and Sun Can froze like statues. I just sighed. I started shooting arrows. Second arrow hit. Third arrow hit. Every single one buried deep enough to see bone. I deliberately avoided the back and belly because tiger skin is expensive and I'm not about to put holes in my paycheck. This tiger did not stop. Did not scream. Did not flinch. Just kept staring at me and charging like a furry Terminator. It got within 3 meters before my arrow finally went through its eye socket and it dropped. 3 meters. If this tiger had been healthy, I'd be a human chew toy right now. I put my hands together and gave it a little prayer. Respect. This was the toughest opponent I'd ever faced. A warrior in a fur coat. But respect doesn't pay bills, and I've got a wife, a daughter, and a baby on the way who need a better life. All right, stop standing there like statues. Get your knives out. Wang Wei poked it. How heavy is this thing? Sun Can guess 300 or 400 pounds, same as the brown bear. But this tiger was way bigger. The bear was basically a compact car. This tiger was a full-size SUV. Good news. They'd already butchered a bear with me before, so they knew the process. We carved up everything right there on the spot. Took every single part except the blood. Bones, meat, skin, organs. Tiger is basically a walking gold mine. We snuck back to the village in the dark like 3 very suspicious, very blood-covered Santa Clauses carrying sacks of tiger parts through back alleys. Remember, I told them, nobody finds out about this. Tomorrow morning, just us 3, straight to town. Early as possible, they nodded. And just like that, 3 guys covered in tiger blood disappeared into the night, each carrying pieces of the most terrifying animal on Jade Dragon Mountain. Night 1 on the mountain. Survived a tiger attack, bombed a tiger, shot a tiger, arrowed a tiger, and butchered a tiger. Not bad for a camping trip. Next morning, we marched straight to Old Man Tian's mansion with our tiger goodies. He was sitting in his fancy hall sipping tea while his granddaughter Tian Xian waited on him like a servant. Real charming grandpa. This one. Yelling at her about family property and demanding she marry some guy who'd take their last name. Grandfather of the year material. His butler came in. Sir, 3 hunters are here to see you. Old Tian looked confused. He'd asked me to get him a tiger whip a week ago, but he clearly expected me to show up begging for help. When he saw my face, he started his little speech. If you boys are having trouble, you need to figure it out yourselves. Don't come running to. I flipped my bag upside down. A massive tiger head rolled across his fancy floor like the world's most terrifying bowling ball. You wanted tiger parts. Here's your tiger. Killed it yesterday. Brought the receipt. Every single person in that room. Old Tian Xian, the butler, the guards, all went weak in the knees. These people had never seen a tiger in their lives. No zoos in ancient China, folks. Tigers were basically dragons to them. You heard stories, but you never actually saw one. And here's a head the size of a watermelon rolling toward their expensive shoes. Old Tian's hands were trembling. This is real. No, I carved it out of soap. Yes, it's real. I pulled out the tiger whip, the main ingredient for his special manhood recovery soup that his doctor prescribed. Old Tian's eyes lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. He snatched it and yelled for someone to rush it to Dr. Liu immediately. Then he grabbed my shoulder, all friendly now. Great work, young man. Say, would you like to marry into my family? I blinked. Excuse me? Tian Xian was standing right there and turned red as a tomato. I'll admit, from that angle, she was genuinely pretty. Rich families always keep the beautiful women locked away. Some things never change across centuries. But I shook my head instantly. Already got a wife. Let's just settle the bill. Old Tian wasn't done. Such a shame. No military rank, no scholarly title, yet you killed a bear and a tiger. A true hero. Tell you what, once I have a son again, I'll give you my granddaughter as a concubine. Deal? Behind me, Wang Wei and Sun Ken were practically vibrating with excitement. A rich man's granddaughter as a concubine? In their minds, that was like winning the ancient lottery. But my spider senses were tingling. Old Tian, are you trying to dodge the payment? Or can't your massive estate afford 500 silver taels? He sucked in a breath. Smart people are hard to scam. Well, you see, the war effort. Most of our money went to the front lines. I've only got about 300 in cash. How about I give you 200 now and write you an IOU for the rest? I smiled. Sure, if it's from you, I trust it. He nodded, waved us away like servants. Because to rich people like him, guys like me are servants. We're useful tools with legs. Spoiler, he didn't even give me 300. He gave me 200. And the IOU? Written in Tianzin's name, not his. A piece of paper worth less than toilet paper, signed by a granddaughter who owns nothing. Wang Wei nearly lost his mind outside the gates. That's cheating. He promised 500. Sun Ken was cursing up a storm. His family has warehouses full of grain. Pay us in rice. Pay us in dirt. Anything but a worthless IOU with a teenage girl's signature. Wang Wei actually reached for a bomb. I'm giving him 2 beast skin tubes right through his front door. I smacked him on the head. You want to die today? He's got 20 guards in there. You bomb his house. Our entire families become fugitives living in caves. The government finds out we have explosives. We rot in dungeons forever. Use your brain. That scared them quiet. But they were still fuming. So we just let it go. I laughed. Cold laugh. The kind that means somebody's about to have a very bad time eventually. Let it go? Not a chance. Even if the emperor himself tried to cheat me, I'd find a way to collect. Nobody, and I mean nobody, rips off Chu phone and gets away with it. 200 taels for a horse-sized tiger. That old geezer is going to learn that the most dangerous animal on Jade Dragon Mountain wasn't the tiger. It's the guy who killed it. After getting scammed by old Tian, I did absolutely nothing. For 10 whole days, I was the most boring person alive. Just a regular mountain patrol guy, walking around the first peak with my pets like some ancient dog walker. Speaking of pets, I started bringing Binbin the dog and Huahua the snow leopard cub on my patrols. Binbin's forelegs meant he was always ahead of me like, hurry up, slow human. Huahua was so light, she literally walked on top of the frozen snow like some kind of magic cat. Everyone in the village stared at us like we were a traveling circus. Dog. Sure, normal. Giant cat following a guy around like a kitten? People lost their minds. I didn't hunt anything these days. Between the bear money and the tiger money, even the scammed version, I had enough to retire from murder for profit for a while. But I told Wang Wei and Sun Ken the golden rule, act broke. Don't change anything. Don't buy fancy stuff. Don't suddenly start eating meat 3 times a day. Nothing screams, rob me, louder than a poor guy who's suddenly not poor. Meanwhile, the world outside was going crazy. The government came for grain again. War kicked off because the enemy nation decided, hey, let's attack right before New Year, like the world's worst holiday surprise. All the soldiers rushed back to the front lines, and the government started squeezing everyone for food. And guess who stepped up as hero citizen number 1? Old Man Tian. Donated 5,000 stones of grain. That's basically 5,000 silver taels worth. When Wang Wei and Sun Ken heard this, they nearly had simultaneous strokes. No money? He said he had no money. 5,000 stones is no money. I thought Sun Ken was going to bite through his own teeth. 2 more days passed. Then one quiet evening, I called the boys over. Time for payback. Their eyes lit up like fireworks. Why'd we wait so long, though? They asked. I explained it like teaching toddlers. If we attacked the day we sold the tiger, who do you think the cops would suspect? The 3 guys who just had a business deal with them and walked out angry? We might as well leave a signed confession at the door. 10 days later? No connection. No motive. No evidence. We're just 3 random villagers who haven't talked to the Tian family in over a week. Beautiful. I waited until my wife and Meow Meow were fast asleep, then snuck out like a ninja. Wang Wei and Sun Ken were already waiting outside, looking like 2 kids on Christmas Eve except the presents were explosives. These 2 knew a secret tunnel into town that bypassed the curfew. Very useful for legal activities, which this was definitely not. We each carried 2 beast skin bombs, plus firewood, charcoal, and some fire accelerant oil we'd been secretly collecting for days. We didn't go to the Tian mansion, we went behind it, to the grain warehouse. Look, the old man cheated us out of 300 taels, but he did give us 200. He wasn't evil enough to kill. We just wanted to make a point. And since he publicly announced his warehouse was now empty after donating 5,000 stones, well, burning an empty warehouse is basically just a really aggressive bonfire. Property damage, not murder. Revenge with a conscience. I directed the setup like a movie director. Stack the firewood here. Charcoal there for longer burn time. Don't light the fire first, idiots. If you light it before throwing the bombs, the explosion will blow out the flames. Oil goes last. Everything arranged perfectly around the warehouse. 3 fuses lit. 3 bombs thrown. 3 guys sprinting away through the snow. Boom. The explosion lit up the entire sky. In the middle of a snowstorm, it looked genuinely beautiful, like the world's most illegal fireworks show. We watched from outside town as the warehouse burned like a bonfire from hell. Wang Wei squinted. Didn't he say the warehouse was empty? Why is it burning that big? Sunken shrugged. Who knows? Stop sightseeing. Let's go. I reminded them to hide every single remaining bomb at home. Deep. Tell nobody. Not your wife, not your mom, not your dog. We snuck back to our houses. When I crawled into bed, the blankets were still warm. Like I never left. Perfect crime. I closed my eyes feeling extremely satisfied. Then the next morning, someone was pounding on my door. Hurry. Get up. It was the village chief, Dudahai. The county magistrate and the constables are in our village. I went from sleepy to wide awake in half a second. My brain started racing. Did they find out? Should I run? But my wife and kids are here. Can't exactly grab them and sprint into the mountains. I followed Dudahai with my heart doing gymnastics, already planning escape routes in my head. We got to his house. The constable Liao Xiang was sitting there with a map, nice and warm on the heated bed. He saw me walk in and said to the county officer, "This is the Jade Dragon Mountain Ranger. You've seen what he can do. With his help, this job will be twice as easy." Oh, they weren't here about the warehouse. They weren't here to arrest me. They needed my help with something completely unrelated. I almost laughed out loud. 10 minutes of pure panic, rehearsing my prison speech in my head, and these guys just wanted to hire me. Note to self. Next time I commit arson, maybe wait at least 2 days before panicking at every knock on the door. So there I was, sitting across from the county constable and the magistrate's assistant. The 2 guys who could literally throw me in prison, trying to look innocent while my brain screamed, "You literally did the crime they're investigating." They showed me a defense map of the town. "Can you read this?" Lucy asked. I looked at it. I could read everything. Every gate, every guard position, every weak point. If I wanted to invade this town, this map was basically a cheat code. But could I say that? Absolutely not. A random mountain patrol guy who can read military maps? That's how you get interrogated in a dark room. Nope, can't understand a thing, I said, shaking my head like a confused puppy. Liao Xiang laughed. Normal. If you could read it, that'd be suspicious. Yeah, buddy, you have no idea. Then Liao casually dropped. Hey, did you see that huge fire in town last night? My heart did a backflip. Nope. Went to bed early. Didn't see anything. Well, someone burned Old Man Tian's warehouse. All 5,000 stones of grain, completely destroyed. And we already have a witness who saw the culprit. Witness? My internal organs rearranged themselves. But outside, cool as a cucumber. I even added some shocked acting. 5,000 stones? But didn't old Tian already send that grain to the front lines? Both officials looked at each other and burst out laughing. He said he donated it. But the grain never left his warehouse. It was all still sitting there. Hold on. The warehouse was supposed to be empty. That lying old geezer told everyone he donated 5,000 stones, but kept it all for himself? And I just burned it all. 5,000 stones of grain that could have fed my entire village for years. I accidentally destroyed a fortune because a rich man lied about being generous. This is the most expensive accident of my life, and I can't even be mad about it publicly. So who's the culprit? I asked, trying to sound casually curious and not like a criminal fishing for information. Someone from Peach Village. The village chief's second son, Gua family's boy. Already confirmed. I'm sorry, what? Some random guy from another village is taking the blame for MY arson? Apparently, someone saw this kid sneaking around suspiciously that same night. He ran when people chased him, which is basically a signed confession in ancient China. But here's where it gets wild. This kid didn't just get blamed for the fire. They said he killed 3 people in the Tian household and kidnapped several women while escaping. Then he ran straight into Jade Dragon Mountain. Now look, I burned a warehouse. I did not kill anyone or kidnap anyone. Either this kid was also doing crimes that night, worst timing ever, or someone was pinning everything on him. Either way, not my problem. So why are you telling me all this? I asked. We need you to go up the mountain and catch him. None of our officers know the mountain, and even if they did, they can't handle the snow. You're the only one. Classic. The entire government can't do its job, so let's dump it on the unpaid mountain ranger. Do I look like a one-man police department? I put on my most humble face. Oh no, you gentlemen overestimate me. I'm just a simple patrol guy, walking around, looking at trees. Catching criminals? Way above my pay grade. Lucy's eyes went sharp. You're just a patrol guy who killed 3 enemy soldiers by himself? Lucky. Super lucky. Total fluke. I waved my hands like I was swatting flies. They went quiet. These 2 weren't stupid. They knew exactly what I wanted, compensation. Nobody risks their life for free. Then Liao dropped the bomb. How would you like to live in town? My ears perked up like Bin hearing a treat bag. He laid it out. Catch this guy, and they'd give me land in town, a house, and an official position as a government officer. My whole family could move out of the village. Legitimate town residents with real farmland. This was huge. I'd been wanting to move to town for a while, but doing it suddenly would attract attention. Hey, why does the poor mountain guy suddenly have money for a townhouse? But if the government moves me there as a reward? That's a perfect cover story. Nobody questions it. I scratched my head and smiled. Well, since you put it that way. As the officially appointed mountain ranger, catching criminals is really just part of my job description. Happy to help. They smiled. I smiled. Everyone was smiling while sitting 3 feet away from the actual arsonist they were hunting. Then Lucy added one more detail about this kid. Be careful, though. He has a fire gun. I kept my face completely blank. A fire gun? What's that? Liao pointed at the defense map. See this? This is a fire gun. He pointed at a drawing of the exact same weapon currently hidden under my bed at home. I nodded thoughtfully, like a man learning about fire guns for the very first time in his entire innocent life. The audacity of my poker face deserves an award. I'm sitting here, the arsonist, the fire gun owner, the bomb maker, being hired to catch someone else for my crime, and getting paid with a house and a career upgrade. Sometimes crime doesn't pay, but sometimes, if you wait 10 days and let someone else take the blame, it pays very well. I stared at the defense map, pretending to be fascinated by the drawing of a fire gun, a weapon I literally owned and used yesterday to shoot a tiger. Wow, so this is a fire gun? What does it do? Don't worry about what it does. Just know it's fast and you can't dodge it. If someone points one at you, run. Great advice. I'll keep that in mind while mine sits under my bed. These 2 officials were so happy to dump this job on me that they answered every question I asked. They even told me classified military info. The front lines weren't looking good, and the enemy might actually reach our town soon. They carry the defense map around because they might need it any day. Then they left, practically skipping. Problem solved. Let the mountain guy handle it. Village Chief Du Dahai looked worried. Why'd they push this on you? Because they're lazy. They gave me amazing conditions just to make it my problem instead of theirs. So you agreed? Sure, I agreed. But agreeing and actually doing it are 2 very different things. I winked. But something they said stuck with me. The enemy might attack the town. Suddenly moving my family there didn't sound so smart. When armies invade, they hit towns and cities. They don't bother with random middle-of-nowhere villages next to giant mountains. Our village is basically invisible. No strategic value. No reason to come here. Moving to town might actually be less safe. I went home to talk it over with my wife. Xiao Xiao looked healthier these days, eating well, gaining weight in the right places, and most importantly, not stressed about food anymore. With New Year coming and grain in storage, she had this calm confidence I'd never seen before. Bin ran up to greet me, barking like crazy. That dog was growing fast, almost adult-sized now. Hua the snow leopard was lounging on the firewood shed roof, channeling her dead mother's energy. Lazy royalty runs in the family apparently. Xiao Xiao question. Want to move to town? I expected her to think about it. Maybe weigh the pros and cons, list some concerns. She didn't even blink. No, why not? It's not good there. I tried selling it. But we can't even buy stuff here. Half a day's walk just to reach town. There's nothing to do. We have money now. We could get a big house. Hire a servant girl for you. She looked at me dead serious. If the city falls, rich people get killed first. And I don't want someone serving me. Then she explained properly. Back in her old village, news came every day about towns getting conquered, soldiers massacring people, even eating people. But villages? Villages have community. Sister Wang teaches me silkworm farming. The village chief helps us when we need it. The neighbors take our side in fights. That's good. Why would I leave? Then she added, so sweetly it almost hurt. But I know you have your reasons, and your reasons are always right. If you want to go to town, I'll follow you. This woman. I don't deserve her. Before I could get emotional, a raspy voice came from outside. Xiao Xiao, your man's here? We're back again, Zhou Youqiang. Xiao Xiao's uncle. The same uncle who treated her like garbage before I came along. He was standing at our door with a bag of random junk. Iron nails, hose, fencing, and... Wait, is that saltpeter? My eyes went wide for a second. Saltpeter is a key ingredient for explosives. But I kept my mouth shut and let Xiao Xiao handle it. His wife Wang Xiufan stood far behind him, not saying a word, not even coming close. Smart woman. She knows Xiao Xiao isn't the pushover she used to be. What do you want for it? Xiao Xiao asked, ice cold, looking at her own uncle like he was a stranger trying to sell her fake watches. Just some food. Whatever you can spare. He gave a nervous little laugh. Xiao Xiao went to the shed, came back with a bag. This is all your stuff is worth. Take it or leave it. He grabbed it, felt the weight, and his face lit up. Great. We'll come back when we have more things. Sure. Bye, uncle. After they left, I got curious. What did you give them? Some rough rice. Rough rice. We only had 2 pounds left. And some bones. Bones? The ones Binbin and Huahua were chewing on. Almost no meat left. The pets couldn't even bite through them anymore. I was saving them for when the animals get bigger, but since Uncle wanted stuff, I stood there processing this. My wife just traded dog leftovers to her uncle. Bones that our puppy rejected. Scraps that a baby snow leopard couldn't be bothered with. And the man walked away happy. I looked at Xiao Xiao. She looked back at me with the most innocent face in the world. This woman is absolutely terrifying, and I love her more every single day. So remember those bones my wife gave her uncle? The ones our dog rejected? Yeah, those became the center of the most ridiculous family drama I've ever witnessed, and I wasn't even there for it. Here's what happened on their end, as I pieced it together later. Uncle Zhou Youqiang practically sprinted home with that bag like he'd won the lottery. His neighbors in Stream Village had been roasting him for weeks. Oh look, went begging at your niece's house again? Get anything? Didn't think so. They've been clowning on the whole family ever since they found out I kicked Xiao Xiao's deadbeat father out when he came begging. The entire village thought we'd cut them off. So when Uncle Zhou marched past them with a heavy bag, his mother Wang Xiufan, the old drama queen herself, turned and sneered. What's wrong? You blind? Can't see what my son's carrying? Sweet, sweet vindication. For about 5 minutes. Because then Uncle Zhou got home to his wife. And oh boy, his wife is, how do I describe her? Imagine if a professional wrestler married a honey badger and their child grew up angry. This woman's arms are thicker than Zhou's head. She slaps him around regularly. The man lives in constant fear of concussion. She ripped the bag open, saw the 2 pounds of rough rice, pocketed it instantly like a magician, then threw the frozen bones on the ground. This is what you brought back? Frozen bones? I thought you were getting something valuable. But bone marrow. The good stuff is inside the bones, Zhou tried. Then Xiao Xiao's father Zhou Youji showed up. This walking hangover heard there was food involved and teleported over. He saw the bones on the ground. Where's the rice? Mom said there was 2 pounds of rice. The wife didn't even blink. Rice? What rice? I didn't see any rice. She literally just took it. Everyone saw her take it. But this woman has the audacity of a politician and the fists of a boxer. Who's going to argue? Wang Xiufan started losing her mind. IT was right there. 2 pounds. That's my daughter's food for my son Yoji. Your daughter? Does she even know you exist? You went twice and got nothing. My husband is the one who got this stuff. Without him, you'd be eating snow. Zhou Yoji tried to get physical. Bad move. This man's been hollowed out by years of alcohol. His body has the structural integrity of wet cardboard. The wife slapped him one time, and he spun around like a broken compass. Then Wang Xiaofan activated her ultimate ability, public screaming. Neighbors, come look. Daughter-in-law is beating her mother-in-law. Come see this injustice. The wife countered with her own ultimate ability, counter-screaming. She threw herself on the ground, rolled around, and wailed. Mother-in-law is lying. We brought back frozen bones, and she's claiming there was rice. How can anyone be this shameless? The entire neighborhood gathered around. Nobody helped. Nobody took sides. They just watched and enjoyed the show. Because the Zhou family is like stepping in dog poop. Everyone knows that getting involved just makes you stink too. Meanwhile, back at MY House, in peaceful, beautiful, drama-free Jade Dragon Village, Xiao Xiao was staring at a pot of meat soup and sighing. I should have kept a couple of those bones. Meow Meow has never tried bone soup. She was feeling guilty about giving away dog bones to her uncle's family. Let me repeat. She gave them leftovers that our puppy couldn't chew, and now she felt bad because our daughter missed out on. Dog rejected bone soup. I bit into my steamed bread, grinning. Bone soup? That's nothing special. Next time I'll go hunt a wild boar and make you both a real soup. Life was good. Warm house, hot food, beautiful wife, cute daughter, loyal dog, lazy leopard on the roof. Perfect evening. Then the village chief started banging his emergency gong outside. Fast, loud, panicked. My chopsticks froze mid-bite. That sound only means one thing. Something bad just happened in the village. I frowned, put down my food, and headed for the door. Because apparently, Chu Feng doesn't get to finish a single meal in peace. Ever. I was literally mid-bite into my steamed bread when the village chief started banging his emergency gong like the world was ending. Widow Wang has been kidnapped. Well, there goes dinner. Turns out some guy named Guo, the brother of that dude I killed a while back, and the same guy the government blamed for my warehouse arson, snatched Widow Wang right out of her yard while she was going to the bathroom at night. Her son Huzi saw the whole thing. Poor kid just recovered enough from his injuries to walk, and now he's watching his mom get dragged away by criminals. Here's the funny part. Remember how the cops told me this morning to go catch this Guo guy on the mountain? I was planning to just not do that. Pretend I tried. Collect my reward. Classic. But then this idiot kidnapped someone from MY Village? From right under my nose? Buddy, I was going to let you take the fall for my crimes and ignore you. All you had to do was run away quietly. Instead, you grabbed one of my people. Now it's personal. Widow Wang had been helping Xiao Xiao with everything, teaching her skills, looking after her. She's a good woman. 32 years old, raised her son alone after her husband died, kept herself together through sheer willpower. Apparently, she looked good enough that Guo spotted her while running through our village and thought, yeah, I'll take one of those too. Real classy, this guy. I geared up. Bow, arrows, fire gun, axe. The full Chu Feng murder kit. Wang Wei was practically bouncing when I came outside. We should start an official Jade Dragon Mountain Patrol squad. We're not starting anything. Shut up and move. Then Huzi showed up with a machete, barely able to stand. Let me come. I'm tough on the mountain. You know that. You can barely walk. If we run into trouble, do we save you or your mom? Save my MOM, and then what happens to you? Don't worry about me. I slapped him across the face. Sometimes teenagers need a factory reset. Are you trying to get US killed? Your mom will say save you. You say save her, and we're standing there with 3 guys arguing about who to rescue while the bad guys escape. You coming along does nothing except give us one more problem. Go. Home. The village chief and his son wanted to join too. Nope. Can't have more people finding out about my fire gun and bombs. 3 people knowing my secrets is already too many. Just as we were leaving, footsteps in the dark. Xiao Xiao appeared, breathing hard, holding Binbin's leash. Take Binbin with you. I couldn't see her face in the darkness, but those worried eyes glowed like little moons. She didn't want me to go, but she knew I had to. And instead of crying or begging me to stay, she brought me back up. This woman, I swear. Good idea. Let's go. 3 men and 1 dog. Heading up the mountain at night. Sounds like the setup for either a rescue mission or a horror movie. Tracking was actually easy. fresh footprints in deep snow. Might as well have drawn us a map with arrows and a "bad guys this way" sign. Wang Wei started counting prints. 6 sets of footprints. That's a lot of people. Sunken rolled his eyes. It's 5 people, genius. They kidnapped Widow Wang. She's walking too. Her footprints don't count as enemies. Actually, I corrected, it's 3 bad guys and 3 captives. They stared at me. I pointed at the snow. 3 sets of prints are large, evenly spaced, walking in a straight line. They know where they're going. The other 3 are small, messy, changing direction, sometimes trying to turn back. Those are the kidnapped women. 3 from them, 3 from us, including the 2 women they grabbed from town. You're a genius, boss. Sun can relax immediately. 5 enemies? Scary. 3 enemies with 3 hostages slowing them down. Very manageable. We picked up speed. The trail was clear, the snow was fresh, and Binbin was locked onto the scent like a furry missile guidance system. Then we all stopped dead. Right in front of us, floating in the darkness. A human figure. Just hovering there. Wang Wei and Sun can hit the ground so fast there, but's probably left craters. I'm pretty sure their souls evacuated their bodies on the spot. And me? I just stood there staring, because apparently this mountain has decided that every single night needs to be a new horror movie episode. What now? Ghosts. I signed up for criminals, not ghosts. So that ghost floating in front of us. Yeah, not a ghost. Worse, it was a girl, hanging from a tree by a belt around her neck. Eyes bulging, tongue out, body swaying in the wind. Naked in the freezing cold. Completely stiff. Wang Wei and Sun were on the ground, making sounds that weren't words. Just HGHH, while clutching my arms like children. I won't lie, my heart nearly exploded too. Pitch black mountain, middle of the night, and suddenly a body floating in front of you? I don't care how tough you are. That'll rearrange your internal organs. But I calmed down fast. I'm a firm believer that there are no ghosts, only terrible humans. And I was right. Once my eyes adjusted, I saw the belt tied to a pine branch about 3 meters up. I brought her down. She was maybe 17, 18. Skin and bones, dry yellow hair. Just a poor village girl. I recognized her, the fish seller's daughter from the market. Guowin kidnapped her, used her, then strangled her, and hung her up like decoration. Some people don't deserve to be called human. Wang Wei dug a snow pit, laid her inside, and marked it with a rock so we could bring her family back later. No jokes here. Just fury. I was already angry before. Now I was going to find Guowin if it took all night. We moved faster. Then the trail split into 3 directions. One toward the dense forest leading to Peach Village. One toward the 2nd and 3rd peaks. And one heading toward enemy territory, the Dachau border. Which way? I picked the forest path instantly. More footprints, and it made strategic sense. Guowin would loop through the mountain to sneak back to his village from an unexpected direction. We pushed into the dense forest, and finally spotted flickering torches ahead. Found them. Except, no, what I saw made my eyes go wide. Armored soldiers. With real weapons. Moving quietly toward Peach Village in formation. Enemy soldiers. Dachau troops. On our side of the mountain. Heading straight for a village full of sleeping civilians. Wang Wei looked at me with pure terror. What do we do? 2 impossible choices. Go warn the government, but then Widow Wang dies for sure. Go save Widow Wang, but an entire village might get slaughtered. I opened my sleeves and let the freezing wind blast my chest. I needed my brain cold. Sun Can, go to town. Now, report this to the officials. If these soldiers change direction and head for our village, everyone dies. The government has to know. Sun Can didn't hesitate. He turned and ran. Wang Wei and I doubled back to the fork in the trail. We still had to find Guowin and save the women. I started analyzing the remaining footprints, trying to figure out which path he actually took. Then, a roar from the mountainside. That's Big Flower, Wang Wei said. Sure enough, Mama Snow Leopard was perched up ahead, staring right at us from the direction of the 3rd peak. Like she was saying, hey idiots, they went this way, 3rd peak. Let's go. Meanwhile, and I found this out later, up on the 2nd peak, Guowin was having a lovely evening being the worst person alive. Widow Wang, freezing in thin clothes, asked him for something warmer to wear. Your son recognized my face. Be grateful I didn't kill him. You want my jacket too, but I'll freeze to death. Then freeze. Widow Wang tried one more card. Our village has a very powerful guardian. He will come for me. If you let me go, I'll tell him not to kill you. Guowen laughed, stroking his fire gun like a movie villain petting a cat. I don't care how tough your mountain man is. The second he shows his face, I'll blow a hole through it. Oh, buddy, you have no idea who's coming for you. You're sitting on a mountain where I killed a horse-sized tiger, befriended a snow leopard family, and blew up a warehouse for fun. You think your little fire gun scares me? I have one too. Plus bombs. Plus a bow. Plus an axe. Plus a dog. Plus a snow leopard who's currently giving me GPS directions to your location. You killed that girl. You took Widow Wang. And now you're threatening me? The mountain guardian is on his way, pal. And he is not in a negotiating mood. Big Flower the snow leopard played her role perfectly. She jumped right onto the path in front of Guowen's group and just stood there, like a furry roadblock. The three criminals freaked out. One guy, Li Er, tried to run. The formation fell apart. Widow Wang tried to escape too, but Guowen kicked her down. Calm down. It's just a big cat. 3 grown men can't handle one cat. Then this genius decided to test his fire gun on a snow leopard. Started loading it up, fumbling around like a guy reading IKEA instructions for the first time. While he was busy being incompetent, I was already in position. Whip. An arrow buried itself in Li Er's neck. He didn't even scream, just grabbed his throat and dropped like a sack of rice. What happened to you? Guowen ran over and saw the arrow sticking out. Before he could process it, Wang Wei jumped out from behind a tree. Let the women go. Beautiful distraction. Guowen recognized him instantly. Wang Wei, you think your little bow can beat my fire gun? He lit the fuse and aimed at Wang Wei. Now here's the thing. Guowen expected Wang Wei to just stand there confused, because normal peasants have never seen a fire gun and don't know to be scared. But Wang Wei has seen my fire gun. He knows exactly what that thing does. So the second Guowen lit the fuse, Wang Wei turned and sprinted into the pine trees like his life depended on it. Because it did. Bang! The recoil nearly knocked Guowen off his feet. Hit absolutely nothing but air and pine needles. First time shooting, and he looked like a kid who just set off his first firecracker, stunned by his own weapon. Niu Dazhuang. Go find him. He turned around to send his last buddy after Wang Wei. But Niu Dazhuang already had an arrow in his neck too. Same spot. Same silence. Same drop. That was me. 2 shots. 2 necks. 2 down. I don't miss. Guowen started sweating bullets he didn't have. 2 friends dead in 60 seconds, and he had no idea where the arrows came from. Wang Wei ran left, but the arrows came from the right. His brain was short-circuiting. Who's there? Show yourself. Silence. Just Big Flower sitting behind him, watching calmly like she was enjoying dinner theater. You think you're tough with a bow? I have a fire gun. I can hit you from 50 steps, buddy. You just missed a stationary target from 15 steps. Sit down. I jumped out of a tree. Wang Wei came out from the bushes. 2 of us, facing one of him. Guowen spit on the ground. You killed my brother. Now you want to kill me? Not happening. I'll kill you first. Then I asked the weirdest possible question. Do you have more gunpowder? He blinked. Yeah. He started fumbling in his pockets. Pulled out gunpowder. Tried to pour it down the barrel. Hands shaking. Grabbed the ramrod. Pushed it in. Pulled out the fire starter. Reached for the fuse. I was already standing right next to him with my hand wrapped around his gun barrel. And his fuse was already lit. Too slow. That's not how you use a fire gun. I ripped the weapon out of his hands with one yank, aimed it at his thigh, and let his fuse do the work. Bang! He screamed and collapsed to his knees. Give it back. He actually tried to grab for it. This man was on his knees with a destroyed leg, reaching for a gun that I was already reloading. Except I didn't need his clumsy method. I pulled out my own pre-packed paper cartridge. Tear, pour, done. No ramrod needed. Fuse lit in 2 seconds. His eyes went wide. You know how to use a fire gun. Bang. Second shot. Right in the gut. Not fatal. Not immediately anyway. Very, very painful. I looked down at him. You murdered that girl. You hung her naked body from a tree like an animal. You kidnapped women for fun. You think I'm going to let you die quickly? A piece of garbage like you doesn't deserve a clean ending. Widow Wang was safe. The other woman was safe. 2 criminals dead, 1 dying slowly. Big Flower sat there licking her paw like nothing happened. Wang Wei stared at me reloading the fire gun like it was a magic trick. The whole fight took maybe 3 minutes. Guowen spent 2 of those minutes trying to load his weapon once. I loaded mine twice and fired 3 times in the same period. This is the difference between someone who OWNS a fire gun and someone who knows how to use one. Why didn't you just shoot him in the head? Wang Wei asked. Because I'm smart, Wang Wei. I'm supposed to be a simple mountain ranger who's never touched a fire gun. If I deliver a perfect headshot execution style, that suspicious cop Liu, she is going to have questions. Like, how does a farmer shoot like a special forces operative? No thank you. I handed the fire gun to Wang Wei. My own gun stayed hidden the whole time. As far as anyone knows, I used Guowen's weapon against him. Amateur luck. Beginner's fortune. Nothing to investigate here. Guowen was on the ground, bleeding from his leg and stomach, and instead of begging properly, this absolute moron decided to threaten me. You're dead, kid. You know the Lotus cult? I'm with them. My brothers will chop you and your whole village into pieces. I almost wanted to thank him. I had 3 witnesses standing right there. Wang Wei, Widow Wang, and the kidnapped girl. All heard it clearly. He just gave me the perfect legal justification. You really shouldn't have said that. I swung the axe. He dodged his head but caught it on the shoulder. Now he was scared. Brother Chu Feng, let's talk about this. You should die. The axe came down again. And that was that. Look, in my previous life I was a soldier, but even then I never killed anyone. It was peacetime. Since coming to this world, I've gone from reluctant self-defense killing to deliberate execution. I don't love it. But this era has no functioning justice system. If I let Guowen live, his daddy the village chief would bail him out within a week. The same daddy who already proved he's a piece of work. Sometimes justice needs to be delivered by axe. But here's where I turn on the acting skills. I looked at Widow Wang with big scared puppy eyes. Wang Jia, I'm so frightened. He said he was Lotus cult. She immediately hugged me. Oh sweetie, it's okay. You had no choice. We all heard him. We'll testify for you. I nodded against her shoulder, secretly grinning. Oscar-worthy performance. I stripped Guowen's thick coat off his corpse and gave it to Widow Wang, who'd been kidnapped in her pajamas basically. She put it on and came back to life. And bless this woman. Instead of crying about her own trauma, she spent the entire walk home comforting me. Xiaofeng, you were doing the right thing. Eliminating evil for the people. Don't feel guilty. Not even a little bit. Okay, Wang Jia, I'll try to be strong, I said, hiding my complete lack of guilt behind a concerned frown. I made Wang Wei drop Guowen's fire gun at the scene. The government knew it existed. If we took it, that's suspicious. Leave the evidence where it falls. We dug up the murdered girl's body from the snow pit and carried her down too, along with the surviving kidnapped woman who was basically in shock. The whole village was awake. Nobody had slept. Every single person was standing at the village entrance waiting for us. When they saw the torches coming down the mountain with Widow Wang alive, the relief was like a physical wave. Huzi threw himself at his mother's feet. Mother, your son is useless. Widow Wang, who had been a rock this entire time, finally broke down crying. Mothers are tough until they see their kids. Then Huzi knelt in front of me. The grace of saving my mother. I will never forget. Still mad about the slap? You were right, Tio, slap me. Good kid. Learning fast. After the emotional reunion, I quietly pulled village chief Du Dahai aside. Listen carefully. There are enemy soldiers on the mountain. A lot of them. Heading toward Peach Village. I sent Sun Can to alert the government. Organize every able-bodied man in the village. Weapons. Patrol all night. Do not sleep. Du Dahai's face went white. He's just a village chief. His people are farmers, not fighters. But he nodded and got to work. I headed to town with the rescued women and the dead girl's body. What I heard later was insane. That same night, Peach Village turned into a battlefield. Government forces clashed with the enemy soldiers from dusk till dawn. Blood everywhere. The enemy eventually retreated back up the mountain, but both sides took heavy casualties. My little arson case? My triple homicide of Guowen's gang? Nobody cared. An actual military invasion happened the same night. My crime report was sitting at the bottom of a pile underneath. Enemy nation attacked a village. The next morning, Lu Shi and Liao Zhang finally found me. You caught the killer? I nodded. Modestly, covered in someone else's blood, running on zero sleep. Having saved 3 women, killed 3 criminals, discovered an enemy invasion, prevented a village massacre, and walked approximately 9,000 steps through knee-deep snow. Yeah, it was pretty scary though. I'm just a simple mountain ranger, you know? The performance continues. My back was drenched in sweat when Lucy pulled out a fire gun and held it toward me. Do you know how to use this? My brain went into overdrive. Do I say yes? Do I say no? I went with the classic middle ground, shook my head, then nodded. I saw Gwilyn use one yesterday. Put in powder, light the fuse. I think I could figure it out. What about aiming? Aiming? What's that? I smiled like the dumbest farmer in the country. Then they dropped the real bombshell. They wanted to give me the fire gun. Officially. Government issued. Apparently fire gun soldiers are super elite. Only 50,000 in the entire country, spread across every border. Regular soldiers aren't even allowed to touch these things. Gunpowder is rare and expensive. Fire gun troops only come out as a last resort in battle. So naturally, the government's brilliant solution was to hand one to an uneducated village mountain ranger. Because that makes perfect sense. But wait, there's more. They also wanted me to lead a 10-person patrol squad. Official title, Patrol Captain of Jade Dragon Mountain. I wanted to say no. I really wanted to say no. More responsibility, more danger, more attention, everything I've been trying to avoid. But then I thought about it. If I refuse, who gets the job? What if they give it to someone from Peach Village? What if old man Gua, whose 2 sons I've now killed, gets influence over the patrol? My wife is pregnant. My daughter is 5. If Gwilyn gets any kind of power near my family. Deep breath. I accept. You'll need to patrol the mountain regularly. If you spot enemy soldiers, report immediately and engage them yourself. Absolutely. As a loyal citizen, it's my duty, I said with patriotic fire in my eyes. I've been in this country for like 2 years and have zero emotional attachment to it. But boy, did that line make their faces light up. After they left, they announced to everyone, both villages, that I was now officially patrol captain with the authority to pick my own team. 10 people total, 5 from each village. Members don't have to pay grain tax. But if you're chosen and refuse, double tax. The government's version of voluntold. The Jade Dragon Village roster filled itself instantly. Huzi stepped up first. Amayan, I looked at Widow Wong for approval. She nodded. Done. Wang Wei and Sun can walk over without even being asked. Obviously, these 2 would follow me into a volcano. Du Chung joined after his dad, the village chief, calculated that having government connections might protect them from the 200 Peach Village refugees who just moved in. Smart politics. Last spot went to Zhao Yuxiang, a 30-something bachelor whose mother recently passed. The guy had nothing left except a wheelbarrow and free time. Patrol duty gave him purpose. 5 slots filled. 0 recruitment effort required. I didn't ask a single person, they all came to me. Meanwhile, Peach Village's 200 people stood there staring at their shoes. Nobody volunteered. They were terrified of me. The guy who killed their village chief's sons was now their boss. Comedy gold. Old man Guo walked up with a poker face so good you'd never guess I murdered both his children. Captain Chu, we just arrived. Maybe settle us in first before your village chief will handle housing. Now, about the patrol members. Are you picking, or should I? 0 respect given. His face twitched, but he swallowed it. Du Dahai stepped in diplomatically and suggested giving them 2 days. Fine. 2 days. Then we're going up the mountain whether they're ready or not. Afterward, Du Dahai came to my house. Still planning to move to town? No. My family stays here. The math had changed completely. I'm now the patrol captain. I need to be near the mountain. Plus, towns get invaded and looted. Villages get ignored. And honestly, the townspeople are snakes. At least here, the villagers actually help each other. Funny thing, I have over 100 silvertails now. But I feel 0 security. Even if I had 1,000, so what? Money doesn't stop swords. In this chaotic world, you need power and position. And hey, look at that, I just got both. A government title, a weapon, and a 10-man squad. Not bad for a guy who started this week by illegally burning down a warehouse. Du Dahai smiled knowingly. Chaotic times. Towns aren't always safe. Villages aren't always dangerous. Come by my house later. I have something to give you. Something to give me? The village chief has secrets too? This village keeps getting more interesting. Village Chief Du Dahai's house is huge. Every time I visit, I'm like, dude, this is a village. How do you have a mansion? Turns out his family weren't original locals. They were refugees who earned everyone's trust by being decent humans. When they rebuilt the house, the entire village pitched in. Community construction at its finest. But big houses are great for hiding things. And boy, did this old man have something hidden. He led me through the main hall, past the backyard, into the firewood shed, through the back of the firewood shed, and then down into a secret underground tunnel. Village chief, what exactly is your family's deal? He just said, follow me, like a mysterious old wizard. Down in what was basically a giant cellar buried under old grain, he pulled out a heavy wooden box and said the magic words, I've been hiding this for decades. If anyone found it, I'd lose my head. Then maybe don't show me, I said, because I've had enough head-losing risks for one lifetime. No, it's fine. You can have it now because you won't get executed for it. Well, now I was curious. He dragged the box upstairs, killed the torch, smart. You'll see why, and opened it in the falling snow. Inside was a fire gun. Ancient, rusty, cracked, and completely destroyed. His father's. The backstory was both tragic and hilarious. His dad was a fire gun soldier back when firearms were brand new and about as reliable as a chocolate teapot. First shot in battle, gun exploded. Didn't hit the enemy. Hit himself. Blew off his own arm and took out an eye. Career over. The army gave him severance pay, and he wandered around as a traveling merchant until he met Du Dahai's mom, had a kid, and settled in Jade Dragon Village when they were resettling disabled veterans. I looked at the wrecked gun. This thing suffered a barrel explosion. A what? I didn't bother explaining. Some technical terms don't translate well to ancient farmer. But the gun isn't the gift, Du Dahai said. This is, he pulled out what was underneath. Black gunpowder. High quality. Dry as a bone after decades of storage. How is this still good after all these years? My father said storing it inside grain keeps it dry. Plus our village only has 2 seasons, winter and summer. Neither is humid. My eyes were the size of dinner plates. This box had at least 100 pounds of gunpowder. That's enough to make 100 beast skin bombs. Wang Wei, Sun Can and I had been scraping together tiny batches for weeks, and this old man was sitting on a military stockpile under his firewood shed. The government gave me a fire gun, but conveniently forgot to include ammunition. Classic bureaucracy. Here's a weapon. Bullets are your problem. Now I had enough powder to arm a small revolution. I'll take it, I said with absolutely zero hesitation or shame. I hope these can protect our village, Du Dahai said quietly. Protect it from what? We're in the middle of nowhere. What danger could we possibly face? His expression went dark. If Snow Ridge City falls, the enemy takes the whole region. They'll sweep every village. If we're lucky, they just steal our grain. If they're in a bad mood, they wipe us out. That shut me up. I've never experienced real war. I've fought individual soldiers, sure, but thousands of armed men slaughtering civilians? That's a different universe. Du Dahai had seen it before. The look in his eyes told me everything. When that happens, there's really nothing we can do? I asked. Unless we move the entire village. But move where? Jade Dragon Mountain. The words came out of my mouth before I fully thought them through. But the more I said it, the more it made sense. If war is coming, and it is coming, why sit here waiting to die? Move everyone up the mountain. 40-something people, 20-something families. I know that mountain better than anyone alive. Du Dahai looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Do you know how many wild animals are up there? The natives? The curse? Would you rather die to enemy swords or die trying to find food on a mountain? At least on the mountain, we have a chance. He shook his head. Let's discuss this later. They might not even break through. Fine. Then I'll go find us a spot. I'm the mountain patrol captain now. Exploring is literally my job. A mountain that big? I will find somewhere we can all live. I threw 100 pounds of gunpowder over my shoulder and walked out his door like the world's most casual arms dealer. Behind me, Du Dahai stood there for a moment. Then I heard him mutter to himself, if there really is a place without war, even if life is harder, would that really be so bad? Yeah, old man. That's the dream. A safe place where my pregnant wife can raise our kids without worrying about armies at the door. And I'm going to find it, even if I have to blow up half the mountain to do it. 2 days later, Peach Village finally presented their 5 patrol members. I almost choked. They sent me senior citizens. Old man Zhu, 60-something, attitude of a teenager. What? Old people can't patrol. Wang Wei looked at me like, "Are you seeing this?" I just shrugged. You know what? Fine. Old people are obedient. If they'd sent 5 young muscular guys, we'd be fist-fighting every day over who's in charge. Grandpas. Grandpas follow orders. And if they don't, what are they gonna do? Hit me with a walking stick? Then Guiyong himself showed up. Almost 80 years old. The father of the 2 sons I killed. Volunteered personally. Every time I see this man, he smiles at me. Smiles. I asked both his boys and he grins like I'm his favorite nephew. Bowing. Humble. "Oh, Captain Chu, whatever you say, Captain Chu." This is the scariest behavior possible. An old man who should want me dead. Acting like my biggest fan? He's waiting. Planning. Pretending to be weak, so I drop my guard. Then, strike. Classic old fox tactics. I've watched enough crime dramas in my past life to know. The smiling enemy is the dangerous one. But 2 can play that game, Grandpa. Starting today, your 5 guys patrol first. Head up to the first peak. His smile flickered. But you're the captain. You're not coming. Busy. Gotta go to town for weapons. Have fun climbing in the snow. Old timer. Wang Wei burst out laughing behind him. Better hurry up, Grandpas. No slacking. The safety of both villages depends on you. Beautiful. I sent 5 elderly men to patrol a frozen mountain while I went shopping. Leadership at its finest. Back home, I was loading up the cart when Xiao Xiao rushed out looking worried. Meow Meow's been coughing, and it won't stop. She has a rash on her face too. My heart dropped. Daddy mode activated instantly. Our village Dr. Zhang Xian was away visiting other villages. No choice. We had to go to town. So the whole family loaded onto Zhao Yuxiang's cart and headed for Snow Ridge Town. The government office was empty, so I went straight to the medical clinic, a place called Return Spring Hall, fancy name for a place with the worst customer service I've ever experienced. We walked in, and there was this punk apprentice kid sitting at the front desk reading a medical book. Xiao Xiao, being her sweet, polite self, asked quietly, "Excuse me, is there a doctor available? My child needs help." The kid didn't even look up. She tried again. Is your doctor here?" "Nothing." This little twerp just kept reading like we were invisible. Xiao Xiao went quiet. She's a village girl. She's been treated like dirt by town people her whole life. She didn't know how to push back. She just stood there looking lost and small. Something inside me snapped. I slammed my palm on the counter so hard the wood cracked. "Hey, she's talking to you. Are you deaf? Where's your doctor? What kind of medical clinic puts a deaf mute at the front desk?" The kid nearly fell off his chair. "What are you yelling about? Can't you see you're what? You're a medical apprentice. Your job is to help sick people. A doctor's duty is to save lives regardless of wealth or status. You see village clothes and decide we're not worth your time? If my daughter had a serious condition and died in your clinic because you were too busy reading your little book, I would make sure this place never opens again." I went full intellectual mode on him. Used vocabulary and sentence structures that sounded like a scholar wrote them. The kid's jaw dropped. In this era, you don't mess with government officials and you don't mess with educated people. My words sounded like a well-read man's words, and that terrified him more than the yelling. He shut his mouth and scurried to fetch the actual doctor. A calm middle-aged man came out and immediately apologized. He'd heard everything from the back room. "Let us inside for Meow Meow's examination." I told Xiao Xiao to go with her. She was still staring at me, stunned. The husband she married, the quiet farmer, just unleashed a verbal nuclear bomb in perfect scholarly language. She keeps noticing I'm changing. She just doesn't know how much. Meanwhile, the little punk was sitting there stewing. He'd looked me over, torn clothes, dirty shoes, carrying what looked like a stick, and decided I'd been bluffing. No way a real scholar dressed like that. He was working up the courage to come argue with me again. Then someone in an official government uniform walked through the front door. Perfect timing. Let's see if this kid wants to start something now. The guy in the government uniform? Lu Shi, the head constable himself. The second most powerful man in town. The punk apprentice jumped up like his chair was on fire. "Officer Lu." "Welcome, sir." Lu Shi didn't even glance at him. He looked at me. "Chu Feng, what are you doing here?" "Officer Lu, I've been looking everywhere for you." And just like that, we started chatting like old buddies. He put his arm around my shoulder. Asked about the patrol squad. Told me to come by the office anytime. Said he'd get me weapons, short swords for the team. The apprentice kid watched this entire exchange with his face slowly melting into pure horror. The dirty village farmer he just ignored? Best friends with the most powerful law enforcement officer in town. Shoulder patting, laughing together, nickname basis best friends. I could feel the kid's soul leaving his body behind me. Beautiful. As Lucy was leaving, he noticed my fire gun. Oh, and don't bring that thing into town anymore. Of course, Officer Liu. Totally understand. Then something even better happened. Lucy mentioned the government was desperately recruiting new officers because they lost so many in the battle with the enemy soldiers. Nobody wanted to sign up because, shocking, people don't enjoy dying. What about recruiting from villages? I suggested innocently. His eyes lit up. Got anyone in mind? Well, there's my older brother Chulong. Sits around the house doing nothing all day. My father, still strong but completely useless. And my wife's family, the Zhous from Stream Village. These are all your relatives, aren't they? Officer Liu. Protecting our homeland is a family responsibility. He laughed and walked away happy, promising me a real government position when things settled down. After he left, I smiled. Not a nice smile. See, here's my real plan. I might be away on mountain patrols for days at a time soon. While I'm gone, what if the Chu family or the Zhou family come harassing Xiao Xiao again? The villagers might not interfere because of blood relations. But if I ship all those annoying relatives off to town as government recruits, they'll be too busy playing soldier to bother my wife. They'll think they've hit the jackpot. Village nobodies becoming official government men. Meanwhile, they're actually just out of my hair. And if they die in battle, well, that solves the problem permanently. I am a terrible person and I am completely fine with it. Now, the doctor finally came out about Meow Meow. The apprentice kid was standing there looking like he wanted to crawl into a hole and die in it. Your daughter has hives, the doctor said. Hives. Not life-threatening, but it could be a lifelong condition. Itchy, annoying, recurring. He could prescribe something for the symptoms, but the actual cure required a rare herb called Tianshan purple grass that only grows at extreme altitudes, like the 4th or 5th peak of Jade Dragon Mountain. Great. Another reason to explore deeper into the mountain. Added to the to-do list. Find a new village site and rare medical herbs. No big deal. Just casual 4th peak adventuring where even the bears are scared to go. When I went to pay, the doctor refused my money. No charge. Consider it our apology for the apprentice's rudeness. Xiao Xiao stared at me again. Her husband yelled at a kid, spoke like a scholar, chatted up the head constable, and now doctors are giving us free medicine. She married a simple farmer. What happened? But I insisted on paying. I'm not the kind of guy who takes pity discounts. I put the silver on the counter. The doctor took the money, then turned around and, whack, slapped the apprentice kid so hard he flew off his stool and hit the floor. If you ever do this again, I will end you. Then the doctor turned back to us with a pleasant smile. My sincerest apologies for the trouble. The kid was on the ground, holding his face, reconsidering every life choice that led him to this moment. Zhao Yuxiang stood next to me looking amazed. Every villager who's ever come to this town has been looked down on by these people, treated like dirt, ignored, dismissed. But today the town people were slapping each other to apologize to us. Xiao Xiao held Meow Meow close and followed me out, stealing glances at me like she was trying to figure out who I actually am. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Just your regular mountain patrolling, tiger killing, warehouse burning, bomb making, scholar impersonating, relative deporting husband. Nothing unusual. Big haul day. The government gave us 10 spears and 10 short swords. Sure, they were rusty enough to qualify as antiques, but a rusty spear through someone's chest works just as well as a shiny one. Zhao Yuxiang was practically glowing. The guy went from lonely wheelbarrow man to official patrol member with real weapons. Life upgrade. Meow Meow sat on the cart eating candy and scratching her rash. Hives aren't deadly, but in this era, if a girl's face gets scarred, finding a husband becomes impossible. I don't care who my daughter marries, but I refuse to let her grow up feeling ugly. That purple grass herb is going on my mountain shopping list, even if I have to climb to the 4th or 5th peak where sane humans don't go. Xiao Xiao was already sewing extra clothes for my next mountain trip. She always knows what I need before I say it. Zhao Yuxiang and I pulled the cart together. Weapons plus wife plus daughter equals heavy. We chatted to pass the time. Zhao Ji, ever think about finding a wife? Why bother? We could all die any year now. Why ruin some girl's life? What if the whole country was at peace? Then I'd find 10. We both cracked up. Xiao Xiao shot Zhao Yuxiang a look like, "Don't you dare corrupt my husband." We were almost home when I spotted 5 men blocking the road ahead. Every alarm in my body went off simultaneously. "Stop the cart." I grabbed the fire gun and 2 paper cartridges. 5 strangers standing on the only road to our village? That's not a welcoming committee. I walked up alone. "Excuse me, what's going on here?" They looked at me. Every single one armed. Then the leader opened his mouth and actually said, "This mountain belongs to me. These trees were planted by me." I almost rolled my eyes out of my skull. The ancient bandit motto. These guys were highway robbers using dialogue from 1,000 years ago. Points for tradition, I guess. We're just villagers. No grain, no valuables. Let us pass. I tried the peaceful route. Wife and daughter behind me. Not the time for heroics. But the big guy sneered. "Don't play dumb. We saw you in town chatting with Constable Liu. She like best buddies. You're government people. That cart is full of government goods. Leave everything and walk away. We won't chase." Then he spotted Xiao Xiao. "Actually, leave the woman too." Every cell in my body went cold. I sighed. Not an annoyed sigh. "Hey, you just signed your death warrant," sigh. I already had a bullet loaded. Fire starter in my other hand. "You're sure you want to rob me? Quit stalling. Boys, let's," bang. His face turned into Swiss cheese before he finished the sentence. Didn't even twitch. Just dropped. Everyone froze. Xiao Xiao, Miao Miao, Zhao Yuxiang, the remaining bandits. Like someone hit pause on reality. Everyone except me. Second cartridge. Tear. Pour. Ram. Fuse. Aim. Bang. Bandit number 2 went down spraying red. The remaining 3 experienced what scientists call sudden career reevaluation. They turned and sprinted into the forest without even a dramatic, "We'll be back." Just pure, silent, pants-wetting retreat. Zhao Yuxiang finally showed up with a spear. "You okay?" "Fine. How are you so good with that thing?" I scratched my head. "I mean, you just put the powder in, light the string, and point at the big target standing right in front of you. Not exactly rocket science. I guess that makes sense. It absolutely does not make sense. Loading, aiming, and firing a fire gun with lethal accuracy twice in under 30 seconds is elite military skill. But Zhao Yuxiang has never touched one, so he bought my "It's easy" act completely. Now here's where I did something every gamer knows you should always do. Loot the bodies. Xiao Xiao covered Miao Miao's eyes on the cart. "Smart mom." Zhao Yuxiang joined me in searching the dead guys. Bandits who rob people daily must have something valuable, right? Wrong. These bandits were broke. Robbing people and still poor? That's genuinely embarrassing. Couldn't even succeed at crime. But Zhao Yuxiang found a piece of paper. "There's writing on this. Can't read it though." He tossed it aside like trash. I picked it up, unfolded it, and my smile disappeared. Whatever was written on that paper, it wasn't good. The kind of not good that freezes your face mid-expression. I stared at the words, snow falling around me, 2 dead bandits at my feet, and felt the temperature drop another 10 degrees. Some days you think you've handled all the problems. Then a dead bandit's pocket note reminds you, "Buddy, you haven't even started." Zhao Yuxiang saw my face change. "What's it say?" "You look like you saw a ghost." "Nothing. Just scribbles. Can't even read it." I shoved the paper in my pocket. "You can read," he laughed. "Since when?" I just smiled. Sent him ahead with Xiao Xiao and Miao Miao. Told them I forgot something in town, and turned around walking so fast I was practically running. Because that paper? It was a letter. From the county magistrate. And what it said made my blood boil. I stormed into the government building through the back door, marched up to Lu Shi and Liao Xiong, and slammed the paper on the table. "What is this?" They looked at it. Liao Xiong's expression shifted. Lu Shi just gave a cold laugh. "The magistrate's handwriting, isn't it?" "Where'd you get this?" Lu Shi asked. "Were you robbed?" "Yes. 5 men. I killed 2 with the fire gun. I expected trouble for admitting to murder. Instead, Lu Shi's face lit up. "You actually know how to shoot? You're wasted as a mountain patroller." "Hey, he's my guy. Don't you dare steal him," Liao Xiong snapped. These 2 started arguing over who gets to claim me while I'm standing there furious about nearly being killed. "Excuse me, the letter? Anyone want to explain?" They calmed down. Turns out our beloved county magistrate, the highest official in the area, is a corrupt, greedy, unpredictable psychopath. Those weapons the government gave me? The magistrate saw them as merchandise. He sent Lotus cult bandits to rob us on the way home so he could sell the weapons for profit. He basically mugged his own employee through middlemen. And those bandits wanted my wife too. Where is this magistrate? I want to talk to him. If you want to die, go ahead. We won't stop you, Liao said flatly. That shut me up. I'm brave, not stupid. The universe gave me a second life. Throwing it away over a corrupt official would be the dumbest possible use of reincarnation. Lu Shi headed out, already scheming. His plan? Report MY kills as the magistrate's achievement. Pin the credit on the corrupt boss. Sounds backwards, but here's the logic. If the credit goes to me, the magistrate notices me. Once he notices me, he targets me. Better to let him think it was his operation that succeeded. Keep me invisible. Then Liao Xiong got serious. Lu Shi thinks you're talented. Literate, smart, capable. He wants you on our side. Great. Political factions. In a tiny county government. These two were building their own power base against the magistrate, and they wanted me as a recruit. I've always been on your side, Officer Liao, I said, because what else do you say when the only two people protecting you from a psycho magistrate ask for loyalty? Good. Oh, and Lu Shi's father has a birthday coming up. Can't find meat anywhere in town. I hear you can get some. Tell Officer Lu. 2 days. Meat delivered. I walked home with my brain on fire. The lesson was crystal clear. Money means nothing without power. I have 150 silver taels. Doesn't matter. A county magistrate can send 5 thugs to rob me, and there's nothing I can do about it. A constable and a deputy protect me, and I have to fetch meat for their dad's birthday like a grateful puppy. I'm everyone's useful tool, everyone's little helper, the guy they pat on the shoulder and send into danger while they sit in warm offices. In my old life, I was a soldier, someone with rank, with structure, with rights. In this life, I'm a talented nobody who has to bow and scrape to every minor official just to keep his family alive. This has to change. Back in the village, the sun was setting. I opened my door and heard Meow Meow laughing inside, Bin Bin barking, Hua Hua napping on the roof. My whole world in one house. Meow Meow grabbed my leg. Bin Bin bit me, hit him back. He won't let me. I picked Bin Bin up, 20 pounds now, getting heavy, and held him still while Meow Meow tackled him into the snow. Justice served. Stop playing around. Dinner's ready. Xiao Xiao called from the kitchen, steam pouring out like a cloud factory. I watched this scene, my daughter wrestling a dog, my wife cooking, snow falling softly, and felt my heart squeeze. This is what I'm protecting. This is why I need power. Not for glory. Not for revenge. Just so nobody can take this away from me. I went inside, grabbed all our remaining money, 150 taels, and told Xiao Xiao I needed to visit the village chief. Time to make some moves. Because a happy family in a lawless world is just a target waiting to be hit. That night, I went to Du Dahai's house with every coin I owned. Tell me about the black market. His face went stone cold. Bad idea, village chief. Trust me, he started listing reasons why not. Dangerous people. Government surveillance. Death sentence if caught. I dumped 150 silver taels on his table. His eyes nearly popped out of his skull. He had no idea I was sitting on this kind of money. This cash is a ticking bomb, I told him. I can't spend it openly. Officials will find a way to take it. I can't save it, someone will rob me. But I can use it to build something that protects our village. Weapons. Supplies. A real defense force. Not just for me, for everyone here. I want every villager to be able to earn money and actually keep it without some official or bandit stealing it. Here's the thing about showing Du Dahai all my money. It was calculated. He's a good man who genuinely cares about the village. Plus, I have his box of illegal military gunpowder hidden at my house, and he knows it. We each have dirt on each other. Mutually assured destruction is the foundation of true friendship. He chugged a huge gulp of rice wine. Come closer, he whispered, and he told me where the black market was. Next morning, I had work to do. Weapons needed distributing, patrol duty started today, and I owed Liao Zong meat for Lu Shi's father's birthday. Full schedule. But first, an unwelcome visitor. Chu Long, my so-called older brother, the guy who stole from me and got an axe wound on his back for it. He'd been hiding at home with our deadbeat father for weeks, doing absolutely nothing. 2 grown men sitting in a house not eating, not working, not existing. The village had officially classified them as useless, and stopped acknowledging their existence. Now here he was at my door, healed up just enough to be annoying again. Well, if it isn't Chu Feng, you're back at ye again? I gave him my coldest stare. He flinched, stepped back, then suddenly puffed up with confidence. You can't touch me anymore. Know what I am now? I'm a government officer. An official constable. Wait, what? Lu Shi actually recruited him already? I literally suggested it yesterday. That's insane efficiency for ancient bureaucracy. Yeah? Well, I'm the mountain patrol captain. What are you exactly? A junior errand boy? Get out of my face. His cheeks went red. Before he could respond, Wang Wei, Sun Can, Zhao Yuxiang, and Du Cheng showed up at my door, all armed with spears and swords, looking like a proper squad. Wang Wei poked Chu Long with his spear handle. Wound healed? Already back to being pathetic? You can't touch me. I'm government now. Try me. Wang Wei kicked him to the ground. There. I tried. Go file a complaint. You'll pay for this. I'm telling the magistrate. Then, because the universe has perfect comedic timing, Liao Xiong walked around the corner. Chu Long's face transformed from rage to pure joy. He scrambled toward Liao like a puppy seeing its owner. Sir, thank goodness you're here. I'm an official constable now, and these peasants just assaulted me. Arrest them. Punish them. Make them suffer. The way this man went from zero to petty tyrant in one day of having a title was genuinely impressive. Small man, smaller character. Liao Xiong looked at him like he was examining a bug. Chu Feng, come here a moment, he said, ignoring Chu Long entirely. I walked over calmly. Behind Liao, several officers were carrying large bundles. Interesting. Chu Long couldn't contain himself. Huh? Chu Feng, you're done. Officer Liao is going to arrest you. Liao Xiong smiled warmly at me. Chu Feng, we got the patrol squad uniforms made. Try them on and see if they fit. Uniforms. Official government patrol uniforms. Delivered personally by the deputy magistrate. To me, the look on Chu Long's face was, and I say this without exaggeration, the most satisfying thing I have ever witnessed in 2 lifetimes. Every drop of smugness drained out of him like water from a broken cup. He went from, arrest this man, to, oh no, in half a second. I'm building a power base. I've got weapons, uniforms, a squad, government backing, black market contacts, hidden gunpowder, and a plan. My idiot brother has a name tag and a bruised ego. Welcome to the hierarchy, Chu Long. I'm at the top. You're at the bottom. And I'm the one who put you there. You just don't know it yet. Chu Long was still standing there whining. Sir, Chu Feng hit me. He assaulted a government official. Arrest him. Liao Xiong turned around and slapped Chu Long across the face so hard it echoed off the mountains. You think you're an official? You don't even have a rank. One more word, and I'll strip your badge and send you back to farming. Now shut up. Then he turned back to me with the warmest smile. So, Captain Chu, one more small favor. The emotional whiplash this man gives Chu Long is truly a work of art. Turns out old man Tion's granddaughter, Tion Xin, went up Jade Dragon Mountain alone to find medicine for her sick grandfather. And surprise, she hasn't come back. Is she stupid? I said, because it needed to be said. Liao shrugged. Find her if you can. Don't risk yourself if you can't. You're more valuable than she is. Well, at least he's honest about the math. But I'm not about to launch a rescue mission for a rich girl who voluntarily walked into tiger territory wearing what I assume are silk slippers. She made her choice. Natural selection is undefeated. After Liao left, Chu Long stood frozen like a broken statue. Wang Wei poked him. Still here? Don't you have a job to go to? He scrambled away. Good riddance. Now that he's an official town constable, he'll move to town permanently. Him, our useless father, everyone. Out of my village, out of my hair, all because I, generously, recommended them for government service. My evil plan worked perfectly. Now, patrol day. My 5 guys were pumped. But first, I built us a sled. We're going deep into the mountain. Can't carry everything by hand. A sled lets us haul weapons, supplies, and anything we hunt. Basic woodworking. 1 wide plank, 2 runners, some traditional joinery. Loaded up the spears and swords, and suddenly nobody was complaining about heavy gear. We put on the official uniforms. Gotta say, the government has taste. We looked legit. Professional. Like an actual military unit. Except Huzi. This kid was so scrawny the uniform hung off him like a tent. Huzi, just take it off. Sunken laughed. No, I'll grow into it. Stubborn little warrior. Right as we were about to leave, 5 old men appeared at my door. Guiyong and his senior citizen squad, staring at our weapons and uniforms with pure jealousy. Captain, we're patrol members too. Where's our equipment? You're off duty today. Why would you need weapons on your day off? I thought that would end it. But old Guiyong is crafty. Without missing a beat. Then we'll patrol with you today? We want to learn your methods so we can do it properly on our own. Damn it. Smart move. Can't argue with. We want to learn from our captain. Fine. Wang Wei, give them equipment. Wang Wei handed over the gear looking like someone was pulling his teeth out. Now I had a problem. 11 people instead of 6. Which meant I had to hide my secret fire gun. I only have official permission for one, and my personal one would raise questions. I also had to change our route to avoid showing them our secret base on the second peak. Wang Wei and Sun can read my mind immediately. We all silently adjusted without a word. These 5 old men were supposed to be the weak, useless members, remember? The guys Peach Village sent as a joke? Well, joke's on us because these grandpas kept up with every step. Not a single one fell behind. In deep snow, uphill, at altitude, Wang Wei tried trash-talking old man Zhu. Not bad for your age, old-timer. Son, I was climbing this mountain when you were still drinking breast milk. All 5 old men burst out laughing. Wang Wei shut his mouth and didn't open it again for 20 minutes. Old Zhu had another question. Captain, since we're official patrol members now, can we hunt? Every single person, all 10 of them, turned to look at me. This was the question they all cared about. Patrol duty was fine, but hunting rights? That's money. That's food. That's survival. Of course, if you've got the skill, this mountain is full of game. I'd seen a herd of rock sheep up here before. Enough meat to feed both villages. I could never catch them alone, but with 11 people, we might actually corner the whole herd. We pushed up to the second peak platform. Third peak was off limits. Nobody wanted to visit tiger and bear territory, and the enemy's path only crossed between the first and second peaks anyway. Everything was going smoothly. 11-man patrol, full gear, good morale, old men surprisingly not dying. Then Wang Wei froze. Does anyone else hear that? Everyone stopped. Listened. Oh great. What now? Every time someone says, do you hear that? On this mountain, something tries to kill us. It's basically the Jade Dragon Mountain curse. You can never have a normal, boring patrol day. Ever. You're hearing things, Sunken told Wang Wei. Spoiler, he was not hearing things. I started the patrol route toward the dense forest near Peach Village territory. Put the 5 old men on sled pulling duty because free labor is free labor. They didn't complain. Good grandpas. Then the sky screamed. Gigio, we all looked up. High-pitched, sharp, echoing across the entire second peak like someone scraped a knife across the heavens. Oh no, a black dot in the sky. Getting bigger. Fast. Golden eagle. And not the cute nature documentary kind. This thing had a 3-meter wingspan. Bigger than an ostrich. The animals in this world are all oversized. Tigers the size of horses, bears the size of trucks, and now an eagle the size of a small airplane. In my past life, the biggest bird I'd seen was an ostrich at a zoo. This golden eagle could carry an ostrich. Drop everything. Grab your spears. Run to the trees. The second peak is a flat plateau, almost no cover. Our only chance was reaching the dense forest where the eagle couldn't dive bomb us. Everyone grabbed a spear and sprinted. But the 5 old men were too slow. Good stamina, 0 sprint speed. And this eagle? It was targeting them. Specifically Guiyong, the slowest of the bunch. Here's the moment I had to make a choice. I could keep running. Let the eagle grab one of the old men. Nobody would blame me. They're Peach Village people, half of them hate me, and Guiyong literally wants revenge for his dead sons. Letting nature take its course would solve several of my problems permanently. I stopped running. Everyone halt. Spears up, my 5 guys. Wang Wei, Sun Can, Du Cheng, Zhao Yuxiang, Huzi, every single one stopped instantly. No hesitation. They were terrified. I could see it in their eyes, but they turned around and raised their weapons. Guiyong was standing frozen in the snow, staring at us like we'd lost our minds. He'd already accepted death, was literally saying goodbye to his dead sons in his head. And then the people he considered enemies turned around to protect him. Old Gua, what are you doing? Move your legs. Old man Zhu was already running toward us. We formed a star formation around Guiyong. 11 spears pointing outward like the world's most desperate porcupine. The eagle swooped low, saw the wall of pointy sticks, and actually pulled up. The wariness in its eyes was clear. This wasn't easy prey anymore. Go? Now! We moved as a unit toward the tree line. The eagles circled above, screaming, waiting for someone to break formation. We made it to the forest, everyone breathing like broken bellows. Guiyong looked at me. Why did you save me? Save you. Don't flatter yourself. You're my patrol member. Nobody dies on MY watch. That's not heroism. That's paperwork I don't want to fill out. Something changed in the old man's eyes. For just a second, I saw him look at me differently, like he was seeing something familiar, something he recognized from his own younger days. A leader who doesn't abandon his people, even when those people are his enemies. Don't get sentimental on me, old man. I still know you're plotting revenge. Whoosh! The eagle dove into the forest. This lunatic bird was so hungry it followed us into the trees. I tackled old man Zhu to the ground just as razor talons sliced through the air where his head had been. This thing is starving, I yelled. A well-fed eagle would have given up by now. This one was desperate, and desperate predators don't quit. What do we do? Zhao Yuxiang asked, genuinely scared on his first-ever patrol. I looked up at this monster bird circling back for another pass. My face went hard. It won't let us leave. So we fight. Wang Wei and Sun Can immediately got excited because those two psychos get happy when violence is on the menu. Du Cheng rushed over to Wang Wei whispering, "Do you have any bombs? Give me one. Give me one." Apparently Wang Wei and Sun Can had been running their mouths about our explosives. I didn't have time to yell at them for that. Bombs won't work. It's flying. Genius, Wang Wei said. Right. Different approach needed. I climbed a tree, loaded my fire gun, lit the fuse starter, and waited. The eagle spotted me up in the tree, isolated, exposed, perfect target. It pulled up to maximum altitude, locked eyes with me, and dove. 300 kilometers per hour. Straight down, like a feathered missile. At this speed, it didn't even need its claws. Just hitting me would be like getting struck by a car. My hands were shaking. Fighting a tiger? Fine. Fighting a bear? Sure. But a living projectile moving at high speed, train velocity, aimed directly at my face? I was terrified, but I couldn't miss. Missing meant death. No second chances. I steadied my breathing. Watched it come. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Those golden eyes filling my entire vision. Fuse touched. Spark. Sizzle. Bang. I missed. The bullet left the barrel, and that feathered demon sensed it. Like it had a sixth sense for danger. Mid-dive, it changed direction and shot back up into the sky. These animals have built-in radar, I swear. Did you hit it? Wang Wei asked. No, Sun Can answered for me. He saw clearly. Here's the embarrassing math. My fire gun shoots at maybe 200 kilometers per hour. This eagle dives at 300 kilometers per hour. The bird is literally faster than my bullet. In its eyes, my shot was probably moving in slow motion. I jumped down from the tree. The gun's too slow for an airborne target. We need a different plan. Everyone panicked at once. Can't run. Eagle will pick us off. Can't stay. Blizzard incoming. Can't shoot. Bullet too slow. We were stuck arguing in circles when an old voice cut through the noise. What if there was bait? Guiyong, the ancient fox himself. If someone stands in the open, the eagle dives, lands to grab them, and then it's on the ground moving at normal speed. Can you hit it then? Yes. But the bait dies. Then I'll be the bait. He said it like he was volunteering to fetch water. Completely calm. No, I said. Why not? Wouldn't my death be convenient for you, Captain? Our eyes locked. Everyone went silent. He wasn't wrong. This man wants to avenge his sons by killing me. Him dying would solve my biggest problem. And he knew it. He was testing me and sacrificing himself at the same time. But I couldn't let him do it. Not because I'm noble. Because leaders don't sacrifice their people. Period. Before I could argue more, this stubborn old goat grabbed his spear and walked out onto the open plateau. Hey, Big Bird. Come get your grandpa. His voice echoed across the valley. The eagle spotted him instantly. Finally, an isolated target on open ground. Its favorite meal setup. Gio, it dove. A black streak falling from the sky like a meteor with feathers. Guiyong stood there gripping his spear, face blank, hands shaking. Nobody is calm when death is screaming toward them at 300 kilometers per hour. But he stood anyway, because somewhere inside that scheming old brain, he needed to prove he wasn't useless. That the man who built Peach Village from nothing with his bare fists still had something left to give. Then old man Zhu ran out and stood next to him. Two old men, two spears, facing a flying death machine. We're not afraid. Come on. Then, I couldn't believe it, Wang Wei ran out too. Then the others. My entire squad charged onto the open plateau with their spears raised, screaming at a giant eagle like absolute maniacs. This was either the bravest or the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. Probably both. The eagle committed. Starving, desperate, all in. One more failed hunt, and it wouldn't survive winter. And that's when Sun Can and I executed our plan. I was up in a tree at the forest edge. Sun Can stood next to me holding the fire starter. I held the gun. Assembly line method. I aim, he lights, I shoot. He reloads, I aim again. Bang, first shot. The eagle flinched. Bang, second shot. Hit the wing. It screamed. Bang, third shot. Right in the head. 5 seconds. 3 shots. The two-man speed reload system worked perfectly. The massive body dropped out of the sky like a feathered blanket and landed directly on top of Guoyong and the others. They disappeared under 3 meters of dead eagle. All I could hear was Wang Wei screaming bloody murder and the sound of panicked spear stabbing from underneath. Sun Can and I wiped the sweat off our foreheads. My fingers were burned from the rapid-fire fuse work. Worth it. It's dead. You can stop stabbing, I called out. They crawled out from under a mountain of feathers, looking like they'd been through a car wash made of bird. Guoyong clutched his chest. Old heart nearly gave out. You killed it? Captain, I believed in you, and I was right. Yeah, just don't die of a heart attack. That'd be embarrassing after all this. Everyone gathered around the eagle. The reactions were priceless. It's enormous. The beak is sharper than our spears. I've never seen anything this big in my life. Wang Wei was already calculating profits. This thing will sell for a fortune. Then his face fell. But we gotta split it 10 ways now. Guoyong stared at me quietly. I could see the gears turning. He'd heard 3 shots in 5 seconds. He knows fire guns. He knows that's physically impossible for one person, even with help. The old fox was doing math in his head, trying to figure out my secrets. Let him wonder. The wind picked up. Sky went black. Snow started falling sideways. Blizzard. Incoming. Now. Because of course. Kill a giant eagle. Immediately face a natural disaster. Jade Dragon Mountain's motto. You thought you were done? That's adorable. We were hauling the eagle down the mountain when something interesting happened. Old Guoyong walked up to me and asked the question that had been eating him alive. Did my son Guowu really attack you first? I have never killed anyone without reason. How did he attack you? Bow and arrow. Aimed at my neck. He went quiet. I told him there were witnesses, including Guowu's own friends who were there that day. If he wanted the truth, he could ask them. I gave him his answer. What he does with it is his business. We started climbing back over the first peak. Almost home. Easy terrain. Should have been simple. Then I heard a sound. Looked up. My pupils dilated to the size of dinner plates. Run, avalanche. The fire gun shots, the screaming, the eagle battle. All those sound waves had shaken loose who knows how many tons of snow from the peak above us. And now it was all coming down at once. I couldn't save anyone. Not one person. I watched my entire squad get swallowed by white death. I got hit from behind, slammed onto the sled, and went surfing down the mountain at approximately 1,000,000 kilometers per hour. Through the forest, past the second peak, off a ledge, and then my head hit something and the world went black. When I woke up, someone was dragging me by the legs. That was good news. Dead people don't feel their legs being pulled. Everything hurt. Cold, hunger, thirst, pain. The 4 horsemen of mountain apocalypse, all present and accounted for. Sir? Sir, are you awake? A woman's voice. Soft, worried. I managed one word. Cold. She dragged me into a cave. No fire, freezing temperature. I was about to die of hypothermia when suddenly, warmth. A soft, warm body pressed against mine. Body heat. The oldest survival technique in the book. I passed out again. When I finally woke up properly, sunlight was streaming into the cave. I looked to my side and nearly had a heart attack. A woman was lying next to me. I panicked for about 2 seconds before recognizing her. Tian Xin. Old man Tian's granddaughter. The rich girl who went up the mountain alone to find medicine. The one Liao Xiang told me to look for. I checked her breathing, alive, but burning with fever. Then I looked down at myself. My shirt was off. Her clothes were disheveled. I remembered the warmth from last night and put two and two together. She used body heat to save my life. The most awkward life-saving technique in human history. Was all this really necessary? I muttered to nobody. The cave smelled terrible, by the way. In my past life, I used to fantasize about being stuck in a cave with a beautiful woman. Then I actually started doing wilderness survival and learned the truth. People poop in caves, and it stays. Romance dies the moment biology kicks in. I wanted out of this cave more than I've ever wanted anything. My sled had survived the avalanche. Tantion Xian must have dragged it in too. Most of the supplies were gone, but both fire guns and the gunpowder were still there. This girl saved me and my weapons. Respect points earned. The snow outside was shoulder deep. The first peak had avalanched, which meant the second and third peaks definitely did too. Even worse, since they're higher. Tian Xian had been up there looking for herbs when the bigger avalanche hit. This cave was the only reason she survived. I got a fire going with what little material I could find. Water was boiling, snow melt, the only drink available. Tian Xian suddenly sat up screaming, "Grandfather," waking from a nightmare about the old man yelling at her. Even in her dreams, she was fighting for respect. The old man screaming that women can't inherit, can't run a business, can't do anything. And her screaming back that she's better than her dead brother ever was. She looked around the dark cave, confused, then saw me. "Sir, you're okay?" "Cough, cough, cough. I'm fine." "You're not." She had a fever. We were trapped in a stinking cave on a mountain that just tried to kill us. My entire patrol squad was buried somewhere under tons of snow, and my wife at home had no idea if I was alive or dead. Other than that, great morning. Tian Xian woke up shivering like a leaf in a hurricane. Forehead on fire, body aching, couldn't even stand. Classic severe cold. "You're actually pretty lucky," I told her. "How is this lucky?" "Your backpack is full of cold medicine." She'd gone up the mountain to find one specific herb for her grandfather and accidentally grabbed a pharmacy's worth of random plants, including cold remedies, and, I noticed with barely contained excitement, Tianshan purple grass. The exact thing I needed for Meow Meow's hives. Sometimes the universe throws you a bone between all the avalanches. Turns out we were in the fourth peak. This girl had climbed higher than I'd ever been. Alone. Through territory with criminals, enemy soldiers, natives, and predators. "How are you not dead?" I asked sincerely. The doctor said the herb must be found with sincerity. So I came sincerely. Ancient China's healthcare system. Everybody. Just be really sincere and walk into Death Mountain. I washed some herbs, boiled them in a stone bowl. Took forever to find a stone with the right shape, and made her drink. She obeyed without complaint, then immediately tried to stand up. She collapsed. I caught her. And before you imagine anything romantic, the cave smelled like a sewer. Whatever chemistry might exist between two people gets murdered instantly by the stench of a cave that's been used as a bathroom. Zero romance. Maximum survival. We waited until she could walk. I cleared the cave entrance, stepped outside, and eyes. Dozens of cunning, hungry eyes staring back at me. "Wolves." "What's wrong?" Tian Xian asked behind me. I backed up. "Wolves outside." "Just wolves? Shouldn't that be easy for you?" Flattering, but no. Remember when we met the second time? One wolf means many wolves. They've been smelling us from out there, waiting. Step outside and 15 wolves jump us at once, so we went back inside. Stalemate. Here's the thing about wolves. They don't normally hunt humans. We're not their first choice. But these wolves were starving. Winter, post-avalanche, no prey anywhere. They were desperate enough to camp outside a smelly cave waiting for two humans to walk out. Fine. You want a patience contest? Let's go, wolves. I've got shelter, warmth, water, and a fire. You're sitting in the snow. Let's see who breaks first. Both fire guns were intact thanks to Tian Xian saving my sled. I had paper cartridges hidden in a secret compartment. And a short sword. "Can you shoot?" I asked her. "Never touched one. I'll teach you. We don't have much gunpowder, so you get one practice shot." "Think you can learn?" Something sparked in her eyes. Competitive fire. If you can do it, so can I. I was not expecting that energy from a rich girl who does embroidery. I demonstrated once. She watched like a hawk, took the gun, and fired. Hit. Not accurately. But from inside a cave aiming at a cave entrance? Accuracy doesn't matter. A blind person could hit something walking through a doorway. So this is how fire guns work. She was genuinely excited. Apparently, she'd always been interested in warfare, strategy, and business, but Grandpa only let her do needlework. This was her first time touching men's stuff, and she was thriving. We set up our ambush. 2 guns pointed at the entrance. Take turns watching and resting. The wolves wait outside. We wait inside. A battle of patience and stubbornness. As darkness fell, the wolves cracked first. One crept toward the entrance. Bang! Dead. The pack immediately sent a second wolf, knowing fire guns need reloading time. Bang! Tion Xin nailed it. 2 guns means 2 shots before reloading. The wolves didn't account for that. But math is math. 2 dead wolves enraged the pack. They figured it out. 2 humans, 2 guns, and guns are slow to reload. Rush together and overwhelm them. They were right. We fired alternating shots as fast as possible, but the reload time was still too long. Wolves started making it through the kill zone. One reached me. I smiled. Dropped the gun. Pulled out my short sword. You made it past the guns. Congratulations. Now meet the blade. I hacked into the first wolf so hard blood painted the entire cave entrance red. The nice thing about fighting in a narrow cave mouth? They can only come 1 or 2 at a time. It's not 15 versus 1. It's 1 versus 1, 15 times. And in close quarters with a blade? That's my game, puppies. What followed was the most brutal fight of both my lives combined. The wolves kept coming. Wave after wave. The cave entrance became a slaughterhouse. Tion Xin crouched behind a rock, firing the second gun, while I stood in the narrow passage, swinging my sword like a madman. Bang. Slash. Bang. Hack. Bang. Stab. We weren't even aiming anymore. The wolves were so packed at the entrance that every shot hit something. Every swing connected. Blood everywhere. Wolf blood, my blood, didn't matter anymore. My arms got heavier with every swing. I hadn't eaten properly, I'd survived an avalanche, and now I was in a knife fight with an entire wolf pack. First few wolves went down in 1 hit. Then it took 2 hits. Then 3. My strikes were getting weaker. The wolves were getting smarter, dodging my blade. This was a war of attrition. Who gives out first? 1 more wolf fell to my blade. And I collapsed. But the wolves retreated too. 6 survivors slinked out of the cave, whimpering. I looked around. The cave was a horror movie set. Dead wolves everywhere. My clothes were shredded. The bearskin inner layer Xiao made me. Torn. The tiger skin vest she sewed. Ripped apart. My face had claw marks. 2 bite wounds on my arms. I was breathing like a broken machine. No time to rest. The remaining wolves were howling outside, calling for backup. We had to move. I skinned 2 of the biggest wolves. 1 coat for me, 1 for Tion Xin. Warmth and intimidation in 1 package. Wearing the Wolf King's pelt was basically a middle finger to the surviving pack. Go. We burst out of the cave. Moonlit sky, clear and cold. Beautiful, if you ignored the 6 wolves stalking us from behind. They followed but didn't attack. I'd killed their king and broken their spirit. But they were hungry enough to wait for us to make a mistake. Tion Xin looked back. They're still following. Don't look. Keep moving. We reached the 3rd peak. And the path home was completely blocked. Avalanche debris, shoulder-deep snow, impassable. Tion Xin started crying. It's too late. Even if I get back, Grandpa is probably already. I had to tell her. Gently. Your grandfather is fine. What? Liao Xiang told me to find you. But he also told me your life matters more than the mission. Think about it. If your grandfather's illness was truly critical, would he send his own granddaughter into the most dangerous mountain in the country to find medicine? A girl alone. He knew you probably couldn't find it. He wanted you to fail. I didn't spell it out completely. I didn't need to. She's smart. Her grandfather set her up. Used filial duty as the rope to lead her onto a death mountain. The old man wanted her gone. No male heir means no inheritance battle if there's no granddaughter either. She cried harder. But she understood. We changed direction. Longer route, but safer, wrapping around the 3rd peak toward the other side, closer to enemy territory. This path would take us past a location I'd been wanting to scout anyway, a valley-like area below the 3rd peak with actual farmable land, supposedly occupied by bandits and wild animals, but far enough from both nations that neither army would bother with it. Potential future village site? Maybe. Add it to the reconnaissance list. The wolves disappeared from sight. I didn't trust it for a second. Then, barking. Dog barking. In the middle of Jade Dragon Mountain. Benben. No, wrong sound. I know my own dog's voice. I turned around. The 6 wolves were 10 meters behind us. Silent approach. Drooling. Ready to pounce. Those sneaky. I grabbed my fire gun and reached for gunpowder. 3 layers of animal skin made my pockets impossible to access. Fumbling like an idiot while wolves prepared to eat me. Great. Tion Xin raised her walking stick sword with shaking hands. More barking. Louder. From multiple directions. Not one dog, many dogs. Dogs. On a mountain. Where there are no dogs. Unless they were wild dogs. In which case we just traded wolves for more wolves, basically. I think we're going to die, I summarized. Tion Xin looked at me with tears in her eyes. I'm sorry. This is my fault. I don't even know your name. Don't call me sir. I'm Chu Feng. Chu. Gidge. That's a bit intimate. Call me Feng Ji. That's what my brothers call me. What does intimate mean? We were literally about to die, and somehow the conversation derailed into vocabulary lessons. Peak survival experience. Then a strange voice from above. Hey, you too. Get up here. We looked up, and what we saw left us both completely speechless. Dogs. Actual dogs. On a mountain. In the middle of nowhere. And not just any dogs. Alaskan Malamutes and Huskies. Giant, fluffy Malamutes with serious faces and Huskies with those derpy blue and gray mismatched eyes. For half a second, I thought I'd been teleported back to my old life. 9 dogs pulling a sled. On the sled stood a woman in animal skins with deep-set blue eyes. Definitely not from around here. She cracked a leather whip like she'd been doing it since birth. The sled blasted toward us and stopped right in front of my face. Are you from Deqian or Dexia? She asked. Deqian. Get on. No introduction, no small talk. No, hey, I noticed you're being stalked by wolves. Just get on. I love efficient people. Tion Xin and I climbed aboard. The 9 dogs went ballistic barking at the 6 wolves. The most beautiful, chaotic, ear-splitting chorus I've ever heard. The wolves took one look at 9 psychotic sled dogs and decided tonight was not the night. Who'sy? Turn. The woman yelled at the lead Malamute. I almost burst out laughing. She named her dog Who'sy. Same name as the kid back in my village. I cannot wait to tell him a dog shares his name. The sled took off. We ran through the night, across the snow, under the stars. I finally relaxed for the first time in 2 days. Fell asleep on a moving sled being pulled by dogs. Rock bottom or peak survival? Hard to say. When I woke up, we were in a village. A real village, right on the mountain. Round-roofed houses, wooden cabins, raised foundations to keep out water and bugs. Smart design. Maybe 50 or 60 homes. Bigger than Jade Dragon Village. A tiny old man stood waiting for us. White hair, white beard, barely came up to my chest. Looked like a dwarf king from Lord of the Rings. Guests, what brings you to the Keishi tribe natives? The legendary mountain people everyone said were dangerous man-eaters. Except, they spoke perfect Deqian Chinese, had organized society, and their biggest concern seemed to be whether we were the dog-eating nation or the non-dog-eating nation. We're from Deqian, Jade Dragon Village, at the foot of the mountain. The old man nodded. Good. If you were Dexia, my granddaughter would have fed you to the wolves. Dexia people eat dogs. In our tribe, dogs are family. All 9 dogs barked in agreement. Message received. I started digging through my layers. Wolf skin, tiger skin, bear skin, searching for money to thank them. Finally found some silver notes. The old man saw the tiger and bear pelts on my body and dropped to his knees. Warrior, did you kill the mountain tiger and the mountain bear? Oh no. I suddenly panicked. What if they worship these animals? What if I just revealed myself as their sacred beast's murderer? Yes, but it was self-defense. They attacked me first. The old man shook his head. If you truly killed them yourself, you are a hero of the Keishi people. Oh, thank God. Turns out the tiger and bear had been terrorizing their tribe for years. Killing them made me a celebrity, not a criminal. Sir, we haven't eaten in 2 days. Could we possibly? Come in. Quickly, their house was amazing. Spacious, warm, with a central fire pit and a ventilation hole in the ceiling, no smoke buildup. Dried meats hanging everywhere, vegetables stored properly. These people were completely self-sufficient through hunting and gathering. No taxes, no government, No corrupt magistrates. Just living. I immediately started thinking, if war comes, could I bring my village here? These people had everything figured out. Why go down the mountain to pay grain tax when you can live up here for free? Hot tea and meat soup arrived. Tasted terrible. No seasonings exist when your tribe has been isolated on a mountain for generations. But after 2 days of nothing, it was the best meal of my life. We were about to leave when the old man walked up to me with a very serious expression. Hero, please take my granddaughter. I was mid-sip and nearly launched tea out of my nostrils. I looked at the warrior woman. The fierce, intimidating, wolf-scaring, whip-cracking sled driver was now standing behind her grandfather looking shy. Blushing. Playing with her hair. What is happening? Wait. Too much information. Hold on. Sir, SHE saved us. She has the favor here. Why would she marry down to me? Also, I have a wife. Very much married. Cannot take your granddaughter. Absolutely not. This is the 3rd time someone has tried to give me a woman on this mountain. Old man Tian offered his granddaughter. The officials keep hinting. And now a tribal elder is literally pushing his granddaughter at me like a clearance sale. I killed a tiger, a bear, and an eagle, and apparently that makes me ancient China's most eligible bachelor. Meanwhile, I just want to go home, hug my wife, pet my dog, and eat something with seasoning. The old man explained everything. Their tribe had been terrorized by the mountain tiger and bear for generations. Hunters kept dying, so they prayed to their mountain god. Whoever kills both beasts gets our most beautiful woman. And guess who showed up wearing both pelts like a fashion statement? Maybe I killed different ones. I tried desperately. Big mountain. Lots of animals. Could be different tiger and bear, right? The chief shook his head. I am the tribal leader. I can confirm. Those skins are from our tiger and bear. Oh great. He's the chief. And apparently if I don't accept his granddaughter, divine punishment falls on the entire tribe. No pressure. Sir, I killed your beasts. Your granddaughter saved my life. We're even. Let's call it square and move on. I stood up to leave. Tian Xian followed. The chief looked heartbroken, but he still offered to have his granddaughter drive us down the mountain by dog sled. The 3rd peak was blocked by avalanche, so the only route was the long way around. Near enemy territory, past a bandit stronghold, through dangerous wildlife zones. Fun. By the way, the chief said, her name is Tsuwa. I stared at the fierce warrior woman. Tsuehua. That's like naming a lioness, Daisy. Her real name is Carfiso, meaning most fortunate, most beautiful. Tsuehua is her nickname. Ugly names keep children alive longer. Ancient superstition meets ancient naming conventions. Got it. Tsuehua drove the sled in stone-cold silence. 9 dogs, 3 passengers, 0 conversation. Awkward doesn't begin to cover it. Then she spoke. Is it because I'm ugly? Is my body not good enough? Is that why you don't want me? OHNO. The hardest possible question. Here's the truth. Tsuehua was not ugly. At all. Her face was stunning. Exotic features, sharp bone structure, intense blue eyes. Her body looked big because of thick winter clothes and muscle, but underneath? Athletic, powerful, the kind of physique that would make fitness influencers in my old world jealous. She was gorgeous in a way that intimidated most men. But how do you say that without making things worse? After painful deliberation, the best compliment my ancient Chinese-speaking brain produced was, "You have a great body for bearing children." In my old life, that sentence would get me slapped into next week. In this era, highest compliment a woman can receive. Cultural context saves lives. But Tsuehua wasn't buying it. The men in my village say women like me are considered ugly by mountain-based people. You rejecting me just proves them right. The sled stopped. She climbed off, handed me the reins. Keep the dogs. Take care of them. Goodbye. Wait, what? You're giving me the sled and the dogs? Where are you going? Nobody wants me. Our tradition says unwanted women must go meet the mountain god. She started walking toward a cliff. A cliff. Tsuehua no. Tian Xian reacted faster than me. She bear-hugged Tsuehua's waist from behind. I snapped out of my shock, and we both tackled her to the ground. I stood up, channeling every motivational speaker from my past life. Listen to me. First, you are beautiful. Your body is incredible. There is no woman more stunning in this world. Second, I have a wife and daughter. Taking you would betray them. Third, and this is the most important thing, you do not belong to anyone. You don't exist for a man to take. You exist for yourself. Live for yourself. Morning sunlight hit me dramatically as I delivered this speech. Very cinematic. Suehua blinked. Tian Xian stared up at me with her heart visibly doing gymnastics in her chest. That makes sense, Suehua admitted. Then she shook her head. No, you're lying. Men always take 3 or 4 wives. Why can't you take one more? The mountain god will curse me. If you don't take me, I die now. She sprinted for the cliff again. Okay. I'll take you. I want you. Yes. Deal. I grabbed her waist again just in time. She stopped, turned around. Really? Yes. Really? Absolutely. 100%. Now please step away from the cliff. And that is how I acquired a wife through hostage negotiation. Xiao Xiao is going to kill me. I survived a tiger, a bear, an eagle, an avalanche, wolves, bandits, and a corrupt magistrate. But explaining Suehua to my pregnant wife? That might actually be what finishes me off. The sled started moving again, and Suehua finally stopped looking like a statue carved from ice. She was smiling, directing the dogs with a soft voice. Happy as could be. Meanwhile, in the back of the sled, my brain was having a full meltdown. I did what any smart man would do, stall. Suehua, I can't take you right now. You need to go home, prepare your dowry, and come find me in Jade Dragon Village when everything's ready. The path to my village was blocked by the avalanche, meaning she physically cannot reach me until spring. By spring, who knows what happens? War might break out, we might evacuate, the world might end. Future Chu Feng's problem. Did I technically lie to a woman to stop her from jumping off a cliff? Yes. Am I proud? No. Am I alive? Also yes. Priorities. Suehua is so happy, she announced to nobody in particular. Every woman in the village got married except me. Because of Grandpa's promise to the mountain god, I couldn't marry until someone killed the tiger and bear. Husband, thank you. Don't mention it. Tian Xin was giggling beside me. Wind blowing through her hair like a shampoo commercial. These women are going to be the death of me faster than any wild animal. Woof, woof, woof. Huzi the lead dog started barking frantically. Suehua's face changed instantly. Danger. Huzi only barks like that when the sled whipped sideways in a hard turn. And there, where we'd been heading, stood a wall of wolves. Not 6. Not 15. 30 plus. Those 6 survivors from the cave had gone home, told all their friends, recruited multiple packs, and organized a revenge army. Wolves holding grudges across tribal lines. This was the wolf equivalent of calling in NATO. The dogs didn't flinch. Not one tried to run. Huzi assessed the situation, turned the sled, and accelerated like a furry race car. These dogs, the same breed people in my old life dressed in sweaters and posted on Instagram, were absolute warriors when unleashed properly. Wolves started catching up. One got close to the sled. Tian Xin, this girl who was coughing with fever yesterday, grabbed a sword and slashed it as we flew past. The sled's speed added so much force to her swing that the wolf basically cut itself open on her blade. She didn't even need to try hard. Second wolf reached my side. Bang. Fire gun. Done. There's an abandoned mountain fortress ahead, Suehua shouted. Different route, but same general direction. If we can reach it, we're safe. Then you're coming down the mountain with us, I told her. You think these wolves won't ambush you on the way back? But my dowry, Suehua. Wolves. Focus. Yes, husband. Huzi, faster. These dogs were running at 40 kilometers per hour and had been going for 2 hours without breaking a sweat. In my old life, Malamutes and Huskies were couch potatoes who ate treats and destroyed furniture. Here, they were endurance machines built for war. But 30 wolves don't tire easily either. We needed shelter fast. The fortress appeared ahead. Almost there. Then Huzi slowed down. Stopped completely. 5 more wolves. Blocking the path. An ambush squad, positioned specifically to slow us down while the main pack caught up from behind. These wolves had military tactics. Front blockade, rear pursuit, pincer movement. Who taught these animals strategy? Did they read Sun Tzu? Light me up. I tossed the fire starter to Tian Xin. She knew exactly what to do. Blew on it. Flame appeared, touched the fuse. Bang. One ambush wolf's head exploded. Huzi go. Don't stop. The dogs charged straight through the remaining 4 wolves. No hesitation. 4 wolves latched onto 4 different dogs, biting and clawing. But those magnificent, stupid, brave dogs kept running, teeth in their sides, blood flying, and they just kept pulling the sled forward without slowing down. Suewa's eyes were wet watching her babies get torn up, but stopping meant death for everyone. Bang. Wolf off a dog. Bang. Another. Bang. Third. Bang. Fourth. I was in full soldier mode. Moving targets, close range, massive bodies. Hard to miss. But one stray shot hitting a dog instead of a wolf would slow the sled and kill us all. Every trigger pull was life or death for a different species. I hit every wolf. Missed every dog. Military training from a past life paying dividends in ways I never imagined. The fortress gate appeared. Closed. Locked. Ram it. 9 dogs hit those wooden doors like a furry battering ram. The gate exploded inward. We crashed through into the courtyard. I jumped off the sled before it even stopped, because behind us, 30 wolves were about to pour through that broken gate, and somebody needed to figure out a plan in the next 3 seconds. Welcome to the abandoned mountain fortress. Population: 3 humans, 9 bleeding dogs, and approximately 0 good options. I jumped off a moving sled going 40 kilometers per hour, sprinted to the fortress gates, slammed them shut, and jammed a wooden bar through the handles 1 second before 30 wolves crashed into the other side. 1 second. I collapsed on the ground like a deflated balloon. Suehua and Tian Xin rushed over. "Husband, are you okay?" Suehua grabbed my arm. Tian Xin said nothing, just stared at me with those worried eyes. "I'm fine." I waved them off, trying to look tough while my legs were made of jelly. The wolves raged outside, slamming against the doors, then got smart and started looking for other ways in. But the fence was tall and thick. They weren't getting through easily. We had time. I looked around our new home. Mountain Fortress was generous. More like a small yard built against a hillside, maybe 100 square meters. 2 watchtowers with rotting arrows stuck in them. A storage building with locked chests. Everything abandoned and decaying. Whoever lived here left a while ago. The yard sat on a ridge above a basin-shaped valley below. The same valley I'd been wanting to scout as a potential village relocation site. Down there was the active bandit camp, wildlife, and supposedly farmable land. We were on a second path that Suehua's tribe never used because this path has something terrifying on it, Suehua said casually. Several of our strongest men walked this way and never came back. Cool. Great. Love that for us. What kind of terrifying? Don't know. They never came back to tell us. Wonderful. We started searching the fortress. Found some military-grade spears. Long, sharp, definitely not bandit equipment. Probably stolen from actual soldiers. Then Tian Xin screamed. We ran over. A frozen corpse on the ground. Preserved by winter cold, still recognizable. Dead maybe a year. So this, abandoned, fortress wasn't abandoned that long ago. The sky was getting dark again. We couldn't leave with wolves outside anyway. Might as well spend the night. Find food, I ordered. Everyone spread out searching. Suehua did something amazing. She told Huzi the dog to sniff for food. And this absolute genius of a Malamute put his nose down, worked the area systematically, and started barking at a specific spot on the ground. A hidden trapdoor. A cellar. My heart started racing. Mountain bandit cellars in this era could contain treasure. Or nightmares. We lit torches and went down. Sweet potatoes. Radishes. Storable vegetables everywhere. Jackpot. Then we saw the large ceramic jars. Tian Xin went pale. She started backing away. In this era, bandits are known to process human meat. Women and children specifically, because the flesh is tender. They pickle it in large jars like these. Preserved for up to a year. The stories are horrifying. I'll check, I said, because apparently opening mystery jars in cannibal bandit cellars is my job now. Both women retreated to the stairs. I stood in front of the jar. Deep breath. If this was what we feared, I was going to throw up everything I'd eaten in 2 lifetimes. I ripped the lid off. Sour smell hit me in the face. I looked inside. It's pickled cabbage. Sauerkraut. These bandits actually knew how to cook. The relief in that cellar was physically tangible. Tian Xin nearly fainted from the emotional whiplash. Suehua let out a breath she'd been holding for a full minute. Sauerkraut. Sweet potatoes. Radishes. We had food. In a fortified position with walls and doors. with 9 guard dogs outside, and 2 fire guns with ammo. For the first time in 3 days, I felt something resembling optimism. Sure, there were 30 revenge wolves outside, a mysterious, terrifying thing on the path ahead, frozen corpses on the ground, and an active bandit camp in the valley below. And yes, I accidentally got engaged to a tribal warrior woman while my pregnant wife waited at home. But we had SAURKRAUT. In survival situations, you celebrate the small wins. The sauerkraut was perfect. Cold mountain temperatures kept it preserved way better than anything at sea level. And Suehua's grandfather, bless that matchmaking old man, had packed the sled with enough meat for a wedding feast. Pork, lamb, rabbit, wild chicken, and fish. 5 types of meat. The chief really went all in on the dowry strategy. Wait, fish? Where do you get fish on a mountain? Suehua explained there's a big shallow river upstream from where I'd only seen a narrow creek. Her tribe fishes there in winter when it's frozen, but summer makes it dangerous. The surrounding ground turns into swamp that eats people. Classic quicksand situation. But there's a whole river system up here I never knew about. Filed that away for future village planning. We built a campfire. 3 humans, 9 dogs, circled around the warmth. Huzi the Malamute took the outermost position, eyes scanning, ears rotating like radar dishes. With 9 professional guard dogs on duty, we could actually relax for once. The fish was incredible. No seasoning, no spices, nothing, just fresh fish over fire. After 3 days of starvation, it tasted like heaven's personal recipe. I wanted to keep eating, but forced myself to stop at half full. Survival rule: never stuff yourself in dangerous territory. Full stomach equals slow reactions. A lesson from my outdoor survival days that saved my life more times than I can count. Wolves still howling outside. Lovely dinner music. We'll sleep together in one room tonight, I said. Find a defensible space. If wolves breach the walls, we need somewhere to fall back to. Both women's faces turned bright red simultaneously. That's not. I meant for safety. There are wolves. I gave up explaining. Think what you want. We picked the storage room near the watchtower. If things went sideways, I could climb the tower. Wolves can't climb ladders. Probably. Hopefully. Inside the storage room sat a big locked chest. We'd ignored it earlier because food was priority 1. Now, belly half full and curiosity fully charged, I kicked at the lock. Didn't budge. The chest was rotting, but the lock was stubborn. Let me, husband. Suehua grabbed the spear and rammed the lock with the butt end. 1 hit. Lock flew off. This woman has the strength of 3 men and 0 patience. I love it. Platonically, I opened the chest. My eyes went wide. Round metal balls, each one with a fuse sticking out, coated in thick oil to preserve them. Rows and rows of them, packed carefully. Grenades. Hand grenades. Military-grade black powder bombs. A whole chest of them. What are those? Suehua leaned in with her burning torch. Don't. Tion Xin and I screamed in unison. I lunged forward, grabbed the torch, lost my balance, and tackled Suehua to the ground. The torch went out. I was lying on top of her in complete darkness. Silence. Husband, does it have to be right now? I jumped up so fast I nearly hit the ceiling. Relit the torch from a safe distance. Heart pounding from the near explosion, not the other thing. Sorry. Accident. I'm yours anyway. Accident or not doesn't matter to me. She was blushing in the firelight like a schoolgirl. Tion Xin cut through the romance with cold facts. Suehua, those are hand grenades. If one spark from that torch had landed in that chest, there wouldn't be enough of us left to identify. What's a hand grenade? A weapon of mass destruction. Throw one into a crowd, and everyone within 10 steps is dead. No survivors. Suehua finally understood how close she'd come to blowing us all into confetti. Her face went from shy pink to terrified white in half a second. Tion Xin looked at me. You recognize these, Fengji? Seen them before. Once, I wiped sweat off my forehead. I'd been wondering how far this era's weapons technology had progressed. Fire guns exist, so logically, sealed gunpowder bombs should too. And here they were, oil-preserved, fuse-equipped, perfectly functional military explosives, left behind by bandits who probably stole them from an army supply line. My beast skin bombs back home were basically firecrackers compared to these. These were the real deal. I stood up. A dangerous smile spread across my face. 30 wolves outside. A chest full of grenades inside. Ladies, I think tomorrow morning, the wolf problem solves itself. Suehua and Tion Xin exchanged a look that said, "This man is terrifying, and we're both somehow attracted to him." The wolves howled outside, completely unaware that the prey they'd been chasing all day was now sitting on enough explosives to turn their entire pack into a fine red mist. Sleep tight, puppies. Tomorrow's going to be loud. Morning. Huzi the Malamute woke up first, as any good leader should. Then he woke up the husky next to him. The husky whined, "Dude, it's still dark," but one glare from Huzi and it shut up immediately. Dog hierarchy is brutal and efficient. I loaded everything onto the sled. The whole chest of grenades, both fire guns, supplies, weapons. Total weight, easily over 400 pounds plus 3 humans. "Can they pull all this?" I asked. Suehua scoffed. "They once pulled 5 Nahans up the mountain." "What's a Nahan?" "A 200-pound fat man." 5 of them. At once, half a ton. I looked at those 9 dogs with newfound respect. In my old life, these breeds destroyed couches and chased their tails. In this life, they're basically furry trucks. Ammunition check. I had 5 shots. Tion Xin had 10, plus 6 grenades remaining, against 30-plus wolves. Math wasn't great, but we had surprise factor. "Ready?" Both women nodded. I threw open the gates. Jumped on the sled. "Go." Huzi launched forward like a missile with fur. Within seconds, wolves. From everywhere. 15, 20, 30, surrounding us from all sides. They'd been waiting all night in the cold, starving, patient, furious. Tion Xin and I went back to back, guns blazing. She took the distant targets. Her accuracy was rough, but faraway wolves are big targets. I took close-range shots, picking off any wolf that got near the dogs. Couldn't risk hitting one of our own. Bang, bang, bang. We broke through the encirclement. Full speed downhill. Dogs in pure sprint mode, tongues flying, legs blurring. The wolves regrouped behind us into a fan formation and gave chase. These things do not quit. Why won't they give up? "They can't catch us," Tion Xin asked. Suehua's face went grim. "Because ahead is Mother River. On ice, the dogs can't run fast. Oh no. Ice. Dog paws on ice equals 0 traction." The wolves knew this. They weren't trying to catch us now. They were herding us toward terrain where we'd slow down. Wolves have strategy. "Suehua, slow down." "What?" "Trust me. Slow the dogs." She gave the command. Huzi reduced speed. The wolves closed the gap, getting closer, closer, bunching together. I lit the first grenade and threw it right into the pack. 2 seconds, wolves ran over it. For seconds, wolves passed it. Nothing. Dud. My stomach dropped. Cold sweat everywhere. The wolves were right behind us now. Speed up. Go, go, go. But we'd already hit the frozen river. Huzi's paws hit ice, and he started sliding. Speed crashed. The wolves were gaining fast. "Okay, calm down. Think." I grabbed another grenade. Lit it. Threw it. Then a second. A third. A fourth. "Come on, you stupid bombs. If you're all duds, I swear." Boom. The third one detonated right in the middle of the pack. Then the second went off. Then the fourth. 3 simultaneous explosions. Wolves went airborne. Not jumping, flying. Limbs separated from bodies. Skulls became fragments. Fur became confetti. These grenades weren't just explosive. They were packed with iron shards and nails that shredded everything within 10 steps. The shock wave hit our sled. We all flattened ourselves inside. The dogs, these brave, fearless animals that hadn't flinched at 30 wolves, heard the explosions and immediately went full pancake on the ice. Legs splayed, bellies down, whimpering. Apparently explosions are where canine courage draws the line. The smoke cleared. Blood and parts everywhere on the white snow. Wolves that weren't dead were missing legs. Wolves that still had legs were running away so fast they'd probably never stop. The survivors were having full psychological breakdowns, twitching, spinning, bolting in random directions. I stood up slowly, surveyed the carnage. "We're safe," I said, finally letting myself breathe. The wolf problem was solved. Permanently. No pack recovers from this. The survivors would spread the word. Don't go near the humans with the thunderballs. I was just about to sit down and enjoy the moment when I noticed something wrong. The dogs weren't in front of the sled anymore. They'd retreated behind me. Huzi was pressing against my legs, ears flat, tail down. Dogs don't retreat from explosions, they just survived. Dogs retreat from something worse. Fengji, Tian Xian's voice was shaking. Look, ahead. I turned around. And whatever was in front of us on that frozen river was bad enough to make 9 war dogs hide behind a human. What now? I just used most of my grenades. I have 5 bullets left. What could possibly be worse than 30 wolves? This mountain. This stupid mountain. Every time I think, okay, we survived, it's over, this mountain goes, LOL no, here's the next boss, a black figure. Standing upright on the frozen river. Like a person. Waving at us with a big dark hand. Close your eyes. It's the mountain ghost. Suehua slammed her face into the sled. Tian Xian followed immediately. Both women went full ostrich mode. Okay, so here's the local legend. There's a creature called the man bear, or mountain ghost. A black bear that walks upright, mimics human behavior, and supposedly hypnotizes people before biting their throats out. Entire generations of Keishi tribe hunters have died to this thing. It's their ultimate boogeyman. Even Huzi and the dogs were shaking like leaves, barking but terrified. Suehua started her death monologue. It's over. We're finished. Grandpa, I'm coming to meet the ancestors. Then, and I swear I'm not making this up, she continued. I had a husband, and we never even shared a bed. I don't even know what that's like. I wanted children. I wanted to spank my children. I'll never know what spanking children feels like. I was staring down a supernatural bear monster, and I almost laughed. This woman's dying regret is not getting to discipline kids she never had. Incredible priorities. Suehua, relax. You'll have your kids. Husband, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken this path. No wonder our tribe avoids it. The mountain ghost. WHHH. I watched this ghost waddle toward us. Upright posture, swinging arms, eerily human movements. I'll admit, the uncanny valley effect was real. If I were from this world, I'd probably be terrified too. But I'm not from this world. I'm from a world with zoos, National Geographic, and the internet. I know exactly what this is. A black bear, standing on its hind legs. Being dramatic. Mountain ghost? Please. Nothing survives adequate firepower. I lit the fuse. Bang. The ghost dropped to all fours instantly. No more pretending. No more supernatural mystique. Just a wounded animal screaming in pain on the ice. What kind of ghost screams like that? Huzi charge. Suehua peeked up. Saw the invincible mountain demon rolling on the ground crying. Something clicked in her brain. Generations of tribal fear, centuries of legend, an entire mythology of terror, debunked by one gunshot. Huzi, go. The dogs were still terrified, but they're good dogs. Master says charge. We charge. Even with trembling legs, all 9 launched forward. I wanted this bear's skin intact. Can't sell damaged goods, so I planned to get close and finish it cleanly. But I underestimated this sneaky creature. The moment we got near, it leaped up and grabbed Huzi by the neck. Playing dead. It was playing dead. Tian Xian and I fired simultaneously. Point blank. 1 bullet in the neck, 1 in the eye. At this range, nothing survives 2 fire guns. The bear dropped. Huzi yelped. Suehua flew off the sled screaming. I checked the bear, definitely dead this time. Black bear, about 1.7 meters. Small compared to the brown bear I killed before, but much more devious. This thing was basically a con artist in fur. Stood up like a human, waved hello, played dead, then went for the kill. No wonder the Keishi tribe was terrified. With only cold weapons, fighting something this smart in swamp terrain, you'd lose every time. But I had guns. Guns don't care about mind games. How's Huzi? Suehua checked him over. He's okay. Bite marks but nothing deep. No tearing, thank God. If I'd gotten the lead dog killed, Suehua would have murdered me regardless of marital status. I'm sorry. My fault. I underestimated it. Suehua shook her head, eyes shining. Don't apologize. This man-bear has killed so many of our people for generations. You just eliminated our tribe's greatest fear. You killed the tiger, the brown bear, and the man-bear. You are the greatest hero in Keishi history. Please stop calling me hero. When I get home, I will tell everyone about my husband's glory. Every tribe member will know your name. Great. Now I'm going to be famous among mountain natives. Add that to my resume. Tiger slayer, bear killer, ghost debunker, an involuntary tribal celebrity. We loaded the black bear onto the increasingly overloaded sled. 9 dogs pulled 3 humans, weapons, grenades, supplies, and a dead bear across the frozen landscape. Through enemy territory, past the bandit fortress in the valley below, over the frozen swamp, through more forest. Finally, we reached the dense forest near the first peak. The trees I recognized, the path I knew. We're almost home, I said. 3 days. I'd been gone 3 days. Survived an avalanche, wolves, a blizzard, a cliff-jumping fiancé, grenades, and a ghost bear. Acquired 9 dogs, a sled, a chest of military explosives, a dead black bear, a tribal engagement, and probably several new gray hairs. Xiao Xiao must be worried sick. The patrol squad probably thinks I'm dead. The village is probably in chaos. But I'm alive, with more weapons, more animals, and more problems than when I left. Just another week on Jade Dragon Mountain. While I was busy fighting wolves, bears, and collecting an unwanted fiancé on the mountain, my family back home was going through hell. I found all this out later, and honestly, it made me angrier than anything on that mountain. Xiao Xiao spent 2 days staring at Jade Dragon Mountain from the yard, face white as paper, Meow Meow clinging to her hand. Even Bin Bin was depressed, lying around with no energy, like he knew something was wrong. She dreamed about me every night. In every dream, I walked through the door and called her, wife, in that warm voice. Then she'd wake up and the door was still closed. The avalanche news spread fast. 10 people went up, 10 came back. Except me. The village sent search parties. Nothing found. No body, no tracks, no sign. Everyone started assuming the worst. And that's when the vultures showed up. My family, and I used that word with maximum sarcasm, smelled blood in the water. Chu Long, my deadbeat father Chu Tian, and my garbage mother Wei Xiaoxia arrived at my house first. The woman who called me an unfilial son was here to collect my inheritance. The brother I put an axe in was here to take my stuff. The father who never did anything useful in his life was here to profit from my death. Then Xiao Xiao's family arrived. Grandma Wang Xiufan, Uncle Zhou Youqiang, and her alcoholic father Zhou Youji. The woman who treated Xiao Xiao like trash her entire childhood walked into my yard and said, Xiao Xiao dear, Grandma heard your little boyfriend died. Is it true, boyfriend? She called me a boyfriend, not husband, not son-in-law. A boyfriend, like our marriage was some casual fling. My mother chimed in. We're here to burn incense for our disobedient second son. He hit his brother, beat his father, cursed his mother. This is his karma. Then they started tag-teaming my wife. Hand over all the hunting goods. I'm his mother. Everything belongs to the Chu family. No, Xiao Xiao is his wife. She inherits, and then she gives it to us, her real family. 2 evil old women fighting over my corpse's wallet while my pregnant wife stood there crying. 6 people, 4 men standing behind like bodyguards, 2 women attacking, versus 1 young woman and a 5-year-old girl. Xiao Xiao held her ground. Voice trembling but firm. My husband is not dead. 10 people survived that avalanche. Not 1 died. He's coming back. And this is my house. Get out. They laughed at her. Called her delusional. Started discussing how to divide my property right in front of her. Most of the village men were on the mountains searching for me. The few elderly and children left couldn't do anything against 6 adults. They just watched helplessly. But 1 villager had a brilliant idea. They ran to Peach Village. To Jiyo Yong, the old man whose 2 sons I killed. The man who should be my sworn enemy. And you know what that old fox did? He grabbed every young man in Peach Village. The other patrol members picked up their spears. And Guiyong marched straight to my house. He kicked open the gate and roared, "Shut your mouths, all of you. Chu Feng is not dead. His property has nothing to do with any of you. Get out." The man I thought was my enemy stood up for my wife when nobody else could. I saved him from an eagle. He saved my family from vultures. Funny how that works. I pieced this together from neighbors and Guiyong afterward. Every detail made my blood pressure climb higher. So after Guiyong crashed in with his crew, the 2 evil grandmas weren't even intimidated. They just pulled the family card. Are you a Chu? No. Are you a Zhou? No. Then this is family business. Mind your own. And Guiyong, tough as he is, got stuck. He's right. Clear as day these people are scum. But legally, they're blood relatives. He's an outsider. An outsider from a different village. Even a judge wouldn't touch this mess. He looked at Xiao Xiao, hoping she'd fight back. Ask for help. Say one word, and he'd throw everyone out. My wife looked up at him with empty eyes and said, "If my husband is really dead, none of this matters. Let them take it all." My heart broke hearing that later. She wasn't giving up the stuff. She was giving up on life. Without me, she saw no point in fighting. The food, the supplies, the meat I'd hunted, meaningless without the hunter. Both families swarmed the storage shed like locusts. Everything I'd worked for, wild chicken, boar meat, crayfish, frogs, they grabbed it all with their greedy little hands. Then they started fighting each other over a single wild chicken, pulling it back and forth like toddlers with a toy. My deadbeat father versus Xiao Xiao's drunk father in a tug-of-war over poultry. Peak family dysfunction. Eventually, they agreed to split everything 50-50. My mother took half, announcing magnanimously, "We're leaving half for our daughter-in-law." Then she stood there watching to make sure Xiao Xiao's family didn't take more than the remaining half. Grandma Wang went full villain. All of this comes back to Stream Village with us. Xiao Xiao's husband is dead, so she returns to her family. We'll hold everything for her. Hold. Like a bank. A bank that never gives your money back. Even Guiyang's guys were seething. But without Xiao Xiao's permission, nobody could act. And Xiao Xiao just stood there, hollow, holding Miao Miao's hand. Binbin barked non-stop the entire time. Nobody cared. Hua Hua the snow leopard hid on the roof. If they spotted a snow leopard, they'd sell her too. Grandma Wang marched up to Xiao Xiao for the final insult. "Come with us back to the village." Xiao Xiao said nothing. "What? You think you can survive here? A widow with a child? You'll starve." She didn't actually want Xiao Xiao, just wanted witnesses to hear Xiao Xiao. Chose to stay, so they could take everything guilt-free. "Fine. We're leaving." Everyone saw. She refused to come. These supplies are ours now. The Zhou brothers hoisted their stolen bags onto their shoulders, grinning like they'd won the lottery. Heads down, practically skipping toward the gate. Zhou Yoji, the alcoholic father, walked face first into somebody's stomach. "Out of my way," he snapped without looking up. Then he raised his head. The bag of MY meat fell from his hands and hit the snow, because he was staring directly into MY face. I was holding an axe. I was not smiling. Behind me, 9 giant sled dogs, a dead black bear on a sled, Tion Xian, and a very large tribal warrior woman. 3 days on a mountain. Fought wolves, survived an avalanche, killed a ghost bear, acquired military explosives, and collected an accidental fiancé. And I came home to find my in-laws robbing my house, while my pregnant wife cried. "You're taking MY things?" I said quietly. The quiet voice is always scarier than the yelling. Zhou Yoji knew it. His legs started shaking so hard, he looked like he was dancing. Every single person in that yard, both families, Guiyang's crew, the villagers, even the dogs, turned to look at me. Xiao Xiao's face went from gray to white to a color I don't think exists. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Miao Miao broke the silence. "Daddy's home." "Yeah, baby girl. Daddy's home. And Daddy brought an axe." Zhou Yoji's face was producing sweat like a broken faucet. Zhou Youqiang hid behind his mother so fast he practically teleported. Chu Long saw me and screamed, "Ghost," like we were in a horror movie. I stood there holding my axe, covered in dried blood, wolf skin draped over my shoulders, 9 massive dogs growling behind me. I probably did look like a ghost. A very angry ghost with weapons. I asked you a question. Why are you stealing my things? Notice I said stealing, not taking. Important legal distinction. Taking has wiggle room. Stealing means I can chop you up right here, and every witness will testify you deserved it. Zhou Yoji, my father-in-law, the man who's supposed to be above me in the family hierarchy, dropped to his knees instantly. No, son-in-law. We weren't stealing. We thought you were dead. We came to help. We were going to use the food to host a memorial. For you. Out of love. The crowd actually laughed out loud. Beautiful. Really. Big misunderstanding. His smile was so fake it could have been painted on. Chu Long saw the kneeling and thought, good idea, dropped down right next to him. What Uncle Zhou said. We were just helping, I smiled. Not a nice smile. Before I could do anything, Sui Hua had seen enough. She stepped forward and kicked both of them. 1 kick each. These 2 grown men flew backward and couldn't get up. Suehua's legs have been climbing mountains and wrestling dogs her entire life. One kick from her hits like a mule. Shameless. You thought he was dead, so you came to rob his family? You call yourselves relatives? I'll kill you both. She grabbed my axe and charged at them. Tian Xin had to physically restrain her. When Tian Xin stepped into view, everyone's jaw hit the floor. The famous Tian family heiress. Standing in my yard. Defending my honor. Chu Long, who just moved to town and knew exactly how powerful the Tian family was, went white as snow. You can't kill people off the mountain, Tian Xin told Suehua. But they deserve it, still can't. Suehua compromised by putting down the axe and beating them with her fists instead. Zhou Yoji and Chu Long curled up on the ground getting pummeled by a woman twice their strength. Nobody helped them. Their own family members stood there with closed eyes pretending to be invisible. Stop. It hurts, Zhou Yoji wailed. He looked at Xiao Xiao. I'm your father. Are you just going to watch? Xiao Xiao wasn't watching him. She was staring at me. Just staring. Like she needed to verify I was real. She walked up slowly, reached out with a trembling hand. Touched my face. Xiao Xiao, I'm home. 3 seconds of silence. You're not dead, not excited, not crying, not screaming. Just 3 quiet words carrying 2 days of suppressed terror, grief, and loneliness. I'm not. I made it back. Good. We can keep living our life, she smiled. The most beautiful, exhausted, relieved smile I've ever seen. Then she transformed. My sweet, gentle, soft-spoken wife walked up to Grandma Wang Xiufan and slapped her across the face so hard the sound echoed off the mountains. Dead silence. A granddaughter hitting a grandmother. In ancient China, this is like slapping the Pope in the Vatican. That's for cursing my husband. Then she walked to my mother Wei Xiaoxia. Same treatment. Full power slap. Xiaoxia's face inflated like a balloon. That's for trying to steal our property. You're insane. I'm your grandmother. I'm your mother-in-law. Even Suehua stopped punching people to stare. In her tribe, you don't hit elders either. She looked at Xiao Xiao with something new in her eyes. Respect. Maybe a little fear. Xiao Xiao's voice went ice cold. Stop pretending you're family. My husband cut ties with the Chu family. I cut ties with the Zhou family. We are nothing to each other. No grandmother. No mother-in-law. No relatives. That was decided last time. So don't you dare play the elder card. She pointed at the door. Leave our things. Get out of our house. Right now. And if you think this counts as stealing, which it does, then even if we chop you to pieces, no court in this country will convict us. That's my wife. The woman who couldn't speak up to a rude clinic apprentice 2 weeks ago just slapped 2 old women, threatened murder, and cited legal precedent. She looked back at me with fire in her eyes. I looked back at her with pure, overwhelming love. Behind me, 9 dogs barked in approval. Somewhere on the roof, Huahua the snow leopard purred. Welcome home, Chu Feng. Your wife held the fort just fine. Guiyong was the first to cheer. Well said. The whole crowd erupted. Everyone had been dying to see these 2 families get what they deserved, but couldn't interfere in family business. Now that Xiao Xiao dropped the Dunqin bomb, cutting family ties, the rules changed completely. But my mother, that cunning witch, had 1 card left. You can't just declare a family split. It needs Chu Feng to agree, and a village elder as witness. Without that, you just assaulted your mother-in-law. My older son is a government officer now. I'll have you arrested. The crowd froze. She'd been planning this trap. Even if we wanted to cut ties, without proper ceremony, Xiao Xiao hitting her counted as a crime. Assaulting your husband's mother? In ancient China? That's serious jail time. Then, from outside the gate, Du Dahai's voice boomed through the yard. Chu Feng, do you want to cut ties with the Chu family? I said it last time. I have nothing to do with them. Good. Last time was my mistake. No witness. This time, I'm the witness. Before heaven and earth. Chu Feng is permanently separated from Chu Tian, Wei Xiaoxia, and Chu Long. No party may harass the other. Does anyone object? No, I said instantly. My mother ground her teeth. No, she couldn't refuse. I'd agreed in front of 100 people. If She said no, she'd look like the desperate one clinging to a son who doesn't want her. Her precious, family face would be destroyed. So she swallowed it. Done, Du Dahai said. No family ties means no family protection. Handle this however you want. I looked at Xiao Xiao, gave her the tiniest nod. She walked up and slapped my mother again. Third slap. The woman who called me Karma and tried to steal from my pregnant wife got her dignity demolished one palm print at a time. My mother couldn't retaliate, couldn't complain, couldn't call Chu Long for help, because if she escalated, I'd report them for home invasion robbery. Chu Long would lose his government position. They might all get exiled. In this era, exile equals death. She knelt, right next to Zhou Yoji and Chu Long. 3 people on their knees in my yard. Now Xiao Xiao turned to Grandma Wang. You can't hit me. I'm your grandmother. We haven't officially separated. If you touch me, everyone here will condemn you. The old woman was technically right. Zhou Yoji hadn't agreed to cut ties yet. Fine, I said from behind. Then we report the Zhou family for robbery. Zhou Yoji panicked. No, not the officials. You let the Chu family off. Why not US? Guiyong laughed from the sideline. Because the Chu mother was smart enough to kneel. Your mother seems to think she's above that. Zhou Yoji spun around. Mother, agree to the separation. MOM please, Zhou Youqiang added. Wang Xiufan's face twisted. I will not. If we separate, she'll hit me. Father, Xiao Xiao said coldly. Do you agree to cut family ties? Yes or no? Yes. 1,000 times yes. Just don't report us. Du Dehai made it official. Zhou Yoji, Xiao Xiao's biological father, permanently cut from her life. No more grandmother, no more uncle, no more deadbeat dad. Done. Wang Xiufan slapped her own son. Coward. They scared you and you folded? Before she finished yelling, Xiao Xiao was already in front of her. Slap. Then another slap. 2 more for the road. The old woman couldn't fight back. Surrounded by 100 people who'd happily dogpile her if she tried. Too old, too weak, too outnumbered. She just stood there getting her face rearranged by the granddaughter she'd abused for 20 years. Xiao Xiao stepped back, straightened her clothes, and spoke with the authority of a woman who'd just burned every bridge and felt lighter for it. Get out of my house. Right now? I'll pretend today never happened. But if any of you come back, every single one of you goes to prison. 6 people stumbled out of my yard. Beaten, humiliated, stripped of stolen goods, and permanently severed from the 2 people they'd been parasitizing for years. I stood at the gate watching them leave. Xiao Xiao came and stood next to me. My shy, quiet, gentle wife had just slapped 2 old women, threatened 6 adults with prosecution, legally divorced her entire bloodline, and established dominance over everyone present. I married a sleeping dragon. And today she woke up. Behind us, Suhua whispered to Tian Xian. I like her. Tian Xian nodded. Me too. Yeah, me 3. More than ever. Both families fled without looking back. Didn't take a single piece of stolen food. Left everything exactly where they found it. Came to rob a dead man's house. Ended up losing their family ties, their dignity, and several layers of facial skin. The moment everyone left, Xiao Xiao finally let herself break. She threw her arms around me and just held on, like I'd float away if she let go. I'm back. As long as I'm here, nobody touches you. Ever. I know. I'm just so glad you're not dead. My heart melted into a puddle. Guiyong quietly gathered his people and left. No fanfare. No. You owe me. Just did the right thing and walked away. 2 villages that used to hate each other were now chatting like neighbors on the way home. Funny what shared crisis does to people. Tian Xian had to leave too. Her grandfather's medicine was in her pack, and time was critical. She looked at me with an expression I chose not to analyze too deeply. If what you told me is true, I think we'll meet again. She left before I could figure out what that meant. Women in every era speak in riddles. Wang Wei and Sun were there. Wang Wei nearly cried. We thought we'd never see you again. Sun kicked him. Shut up. We all knew he'd survive. We searched 2 days straight. Good boys. Loyal to the bone. Then came the awkward part. Xiao Xiao and Suehua, standing in my yard, staring at each other. Bin, now half a person tall, was barking at Huzi the Malamute from behind my legs. Trembling, but brave. Huzi looked down at him with pure contempt. The canine equivalent of a bodybuilder laughing at a chihuahua. 9 giant sled dogs had nowhere to go, so they were staying at my house. My tiny village house. With 9 dogs, a snow leopard on the roof, a puppy, a wife, a daughter, and a mountain warrior woman. Xiao Xiao wiped her tears, put on her hostess face. We've never had guests before. Come inside. I'll cook. Meow Meow saw 9 huge dogs and hid behind me. Fair reaction for a 5-year-old. I pulled Suehua aside. Took a deep breath. Carfiso, look at my family. I have a wife, a daughter, a baby coming. I'm not saying you're not amazing. You are. But I can't add another person to this family. Do you understand? She nodded. I understand. Then she grabbed a 10-pound fish from the sled and marched into the kitchen. Sister, what are you cooking? I brought meat. Let me help. She just moved right in. Like nothing I said registered. Or maybe it registered and she decided to ignore it. I shook my head and left for Du Dahai's house. This was a problem for future Chu Feng. Du Dahai had dinner and alcohol waiting. This man knew I'd come. Can't believe you survived, he said, pouring drinks. First peak avalanche wasn't that bad. Barely buried us. Barely? I've been on that mountain 30 years. First peak avalanches have killed plenty of people. Your entire squad surviving is basically a miracle. Lucky, I guess. What did you want to tell me? His eyes sparkled. Good news. When the government heard you were dead, they gave you a promotion. They promoted a dead man, station mountain officer. Command of 20 men. Monthly salary, 500 coins plus 10 stones of grain. And since you're alive now, they can't exactly take it back. I died and got a raise. Most people get a funeral. I got a career advancement. The bureaucracy in this country is truly something special. 20 men under my command, double the original 10. If I played this right, I could fill those spots with people I trust. Build a real force. Also, I said, pulling the conversation to the big topic. I found a place. For the village. If we ever need to relocate. Du Dahai's eyebrows shot up. You were serious about that? Dead serious. Pardon the pun. I grabbed a piece of pig skin, no paper available because we're poor, and borrowed his decorative calligraphy brush that he'd never actually used for writing. You can write? He asked, suspicious. I started drawing. My handwriting was absolutely atrocious. The 3 characters 4, planning document, looked like a drunk spider walked through ink. Du Dahai laughed out loud. Then he started reading the actual content. The laughing stopped. His face went through stages. Amusement, curiosity, surprise, shock, something that looked like either terror or hope. I couldn't tell which. He looked up at me like he was seeing me for the first time. Yeah, old man. The village idiot mountain ranger just handed you a comprehensive relocation and defense strategy, complete with terrain analysis, resource mapping, population logistics, and military contingencies. Surprise. Du Dahai watched me draw the terrain map line by line. Mountains, valleys, paths, the bandit fortress, the river, enemy territory, everything I'd seen during my 3-day survival adventure, rendered on pig skin in the ugliest handwriting known to mankind. We were deep in discussion when Du Chung popped in. Dad, Liao Xiong is here. Before anyone could react, Liao walked right in like he owned the place. Because in his mind, a village chief's house is basically public property for government officials. His eyes landed on the pigskin map. What's this? Du Dahai's face went pale. I tensed up. The map showed potential village relocation routes, information we definitely did not want the government seeing. But Liao picked it up and started reading. His casual expression transformed into intense focus within seconds. A terrain map? With operational planning? Who wrote this? The ink was still wet. He looked at me. You wrote this? You can read? And draw military maps. For about 3 seconds, I saw a genuine suspicion flash across his face. A village farmer who can draft tactical terrain maps? That screams, enemy spy, family tradition, I said smoothly. My ancestors were educated people. Both my brother Chu Long and I can read and write. He'd already investigated my family background, standard procedure for government employees. Chu Long was now an official constable, and his literacy was on record. So me being literate wasn't impossible, just surprising. The suspicion faded. Scared me for a second. Thought you might be a Xia spy. Sir, you wound me deeply. Relax, it's a joke. So what's this map about? Time to pivot. The map had 0 mention of village evacuation. Thank God we hadn't gotten that far. Instead, I sold him a completely different story. During the avalanche, I accidentally discovered the route Xia soldiers used to infiltrate our territory. And I found a bandit fortress along the way. If we clear those bandits and occupy their position, we can completely block the enemy's path into Deqian. Better yet, our military could use this same route for a surprise attack on Xia. I was drawing the biggest, fattest, most irresistible pie in the history of bureaucratic manipulation. Liao's eyes went wide. You could practically see the promotion fantasies forming behind his eyeballs. If this worked, if he proposed a secret mountain passage to flank the enemy, his career would skyrocket. War hero, strategic genius, all from a tip by his favorite mountain ranger. That's actually brilliant. What do you need? Gunpowder and fire guns. His enthusiasm deflated slightly. Fire weapons require higher authorization. He's just a county deputy, can't hand out military hardware on his own. The county magistrate would need to approve it. And the county magistrate is a corrupt psychopath. So, complicated. I'll submit the request, he said, already standing. This is too important to sit on. Then he dropped the other news. Oh, and about your promotion, stationed. Mountain officer, 20 men under your command. I'll make sure that stays on the books. Du Dehai gave me a look after Liao sprinted out the door. You know he came here planning to cancel your promotion, right? They gave it to a dead man, and now you're alive. Embarrassing paperwork. But you just made yourself so valuable he's going to fight to keep you promoted instead. I grinned. Funny how that works. He walks in planning to demote me and walks out planning to arm me. Government people can never be trusted, Xiaofeng. Plan ahead. Always do, village chief. Always do. Oh, by the way, I brought some valuable stuff down from the mountain. Need to go to town tomorrow to sell it. Can you watch over Xiao Xiao while I'm gone? Du Dehai slammed his fist on the table. She's a jade dragon villager. Nobody will touch her while I breathe. Good enough for me. I had a dead black bear to sell, relationships to manage, a secret black market to find, and approximately 17 problems to solve before the next disaster inevitably dropped on my head. But tonight, I was going home to eat fish cooked by my wife and a tribal warrior woman who both think they're the lady of the house. That might actually be scarier than anything on the mountain. New Year was 4 days away, and the town had come alive. War paused. People smiled. Streets filled up. Amazing what happens when nobody's trying to kill each other for 5 minutes. Wang Wei, Sun Can, and I rolled into town with a covered cart. Destination, the black market. Following Du Dehai's directions, we went behind Spring Wind Restaurant, down a sketchy alley, and straight into the slums. Every town has a shiny side and a dark side. This was the dark side's dark side. Thieves, prostitutes, scammers, gamblers. Everyone armed, everyone suspicious. Men with knives stared at us like we owed them money. Even the children looked dangerous. 6th building on the left, Wang Wei said, checking directions. We stopped in front of what was definitely not a shop. Just a regular house with an open door, an empty yard, and a dead persimmon tree with dried fruit hanging like sad ornaments. I walked in. A raspy voice from the shadows. Brothel's next door. Not here for that. Gambling's also next door. Not here for that either. A pause. Then an ancient man shuffled out of the darkness. Hunched back, white eyebrows so long they touched his chin, wearing a cotton jacket so old the stuffing was falling out. Looked like a homeless grandpa. But he wore cotton. In this era, cotton is expensive. This homeless grandpa had money. Then what are you here for? Selling. And buying. His cloudy eyes sharpened. Follow me. He led us into the courtyard. 300 square meters, surprisingly huge, and closed the gate behind us. Very smooth. Very practiced. What's under the sheet? He nodded at our cart, but didn't touch it. Smart. In the black market, you don't grab other people's merchandise uninvited. I pulled the cover off. His eyes went from cloudy to crystal clear in half a second. A man bear, you know your stuff, old man. How much? Excellent condition. Fur intact. Wait, only 2 paws. Where are the other 2? Kept them. Gift for someone. That'll lower the price significantly. Fine by me. 300 taels. Non-negotiable. Deal. He blinked. That fast. You're interesting, kid. Call me what you want. What's your name? Kuei. And since you accepted without haggling, you obviously want something. Spit it out. This old man was sharp as a razor blade disguised as a butter knife. I want to buy from you. My source says you sell things nobody else can get. He pulled out a long pipe, took a dramatic puff. Flattery won't work. But you're not wrong. I have everything. What do you want? Fire guns and grenades. He choked on his smoke so hard I thought he'd die right there. Kid, you're a villager. Do you know what happens if they catch you with military weapons? They behead you. I put on my most pitiful face. Kuei, I know. But we live at the foot of Jade Dragon Mountain. Bandits, enemy soldiers, refugees, they already attacked the village next to ours. The county deputy made me mountain officer, and he's trying to get us weapons through official channels. But that takes forever. If bandits hit our village before then, we're all dead. Being beheaded later is better than being murdered now. Emotional speech delivered. Time for the finishing move. Unless you don't actually have fire guns. His pride flared exactly as planned. How many do you want? 20. Plus gunpowder. Grenades, if possible. No grenades. Those are battlefield weapons, everyone accounted for. Fire guns. 200 taels. Wang Wei's eyes popped. 200? That's robbery. Sun Can. You're literally a black market dealer and you're overcharging US. Kui didn't flinch. Take it or leave it. 200 taels. I keep 200 from the bear sale. Give you 100 cash. Come back after New Year. Deal, I said before my boys could argue more. But please hurry. If the bandits attack before you deliver, the guns won't matter. Relax. Bandits don't raid on New Year's. Come back the second day of the new year. We left. Wang Wei grabbed my arm. You actually trust that guy? What if he takes our money and disappears? Then we lose 200 taels. But if he's legit, we get 20 fire guns. Our own private arsenal. A real fighting force. Dudahai vouched for him, so the odds are decent. 200 taels for 20 guns. My entire bear sale plus most of my savings, gone in one conversation. But if this works, 20 armed men under my command. Nobody, not bandits, not soldiers, not corrupt officials, not evil relatives, will ever threaten my family again. Happy New Year to me. May it be the year Chu Feng stops being everyone's useful idiot and starts being everyone's problem.